Welcome back, travellers, to the Lucky Die in Kino. Previously, Greff talks to a newcomer, Ivoris asks for his companion's signatures, Kith chooses to trust a stranger, and Tawree lets the rabbit out of the bag. Once Greff gets Tawree on board, the new group travel across the desert to find their shared quarry. Tawree is left uneasy around the Yuan-Ti, but makes a tentative truce in order to help find her kids. The group reaches out to their respective deities for help and guidance, and flex unexplored powers. They now stand on the edge of a deep trench reeling from yet another god death. What are Greff and Kith signing up for? What hijinks are the horses getting up to? And are they truly ready for the challenge at the Forge of the World? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die in Kino.
All of you have suffered yet another death of a god. Some of you are probably laying on the ground smoking a little bit from a thunderstrike that just happened. But that is not the only thing that has broken. The world may have broken from the death of a fourth god, but it also affected the people of this world. We have to take this one by one.
Oh, fuck.
Arch.
Hi.
Can you roll a D2 for me, please?
Okay. 1.
Uh-oh. Could you roll a D2 for me, please?
1.
Uh-oh. Can you roll a D6 for me, please?
5.
Okay, and finally, can you roll a D3 for me, please?
3.
Oh. Oh, you have the worst fucking luck.
V, don't do this to me.
You lose 3 points from wisdom.
No, V, I'm a druid. That's my fucking stat. Oh. Guys, I'm useless. Hey, guys, I'm useless, by the way. Just so y'all are aware, I'm now useless.
Yeah, you feel like the lightning bolt, it came at about roughly the same time. You just feel a slowing down of everything. Like, things are coming in, but you can't comprehend them quite as well as you did before.
All right, so I'm titling this fucking god death in all exclamation. Ability score, wisdom, -3. Fuck my life. All right.
Okay. Neil. Roll a D2, please.
I remember this now. I rolled a 2.
Oh, thank God. Roll a D5.
2.
And finally, roll a D6.
5.
What is your wisdom score?
12.
12.
Not anymore.
Stop it. As you're kind of like falling back from the effects of all this lightning happening all around you, you suddenly feel the entirety of your fur and the bits of it that are kind of a mixture between fur and scales. You feel like in between each part of this, you feel this sharp, jagged pain. And as you look down at yourself, you are just covered from head to toe in about 600 golds worth of crushed ruby.
There it is.
And then as you even as you just move just a moment, all these gems just fall off you. It's stuck in your armor, it's stuck in your clothes, in those hard to reach areas on your tail. There's a lot on the floor, but there's also an equal amount on you. Yours is going to be way harder to clean up than Balance's was, which were just all in its suit. Greff,
Right.
roll a d2, please.
I rolled a 1.
Uh-oh, roll a d2.
I rolled a 1.
Uh-oh, roll a
D6.
d6.
I rolled a 2. Oh, that's dexterity.
Yeah, can you roll a d3, please?
I rolled a 2.
You lose 2 from your dexterity score as you feel like your body just seizing up. It's just not reacting in the same way that it should. Like breathing is just not as movable. Moving your arms, you feel very foreign in your own body. Okay. Tawree, can I get you to roll a d2, please?
2.
Huzzah! Can you roll a d5, please?
2.
And can you roll a d6, please?
5.
What is your wisdom score?
Is the score the plus or the 16?
It's the big number.
The 16.
Yep.
Yep.
You have a very similar sensation to Ivoris. Your fur just suddenly feels like it's turned into needles and digging in at your skin. And as you look down, you see reflecting off of your skin just a multitude of colors. And as you just move, you see tiny 203, no, I can't do maths. As you see 320 gold's worth of crushed diamonds fall to the ground.
What? 200 what? 200 and
320.
300.
I'm really good at maths, folks.
That's gold? Wait, no.
So yeah, basically you have diamonds that are crushed to the equivalency of 320 gold.
Necromancer, kill it.
2 necromancers, get him!
No,
I
it's
already
only one of
rolled
them has
a D3.
diamonds.
I already rolled a D3, determining how long this lasts.
Uh-huh.
And the benefits that you gain from this.
Benefits.
Oh, do you not remember what everyone else got? Oh, well, I guess you get to wallow in misery for a while.
I'm aware.
Cool. Okay. See, if I'd rolled a D3 and got a 3, y'all would have been way better off, but you didn't. All right. You find yourselves in the desert near one of those crevasses. You see and have seen many creatures, well, at least in Ivoris's vision, seen many creatures down there. What do you all want to do?
I want to scramble over to Kith and try to help him up because he just fell down. Are you okay?
And struck by lightning.
Yeah, that too. You're probably a little bit black and
I feel a little crispy. Yeah. I'm a little crispy, guys.
I pat him on his fur where it's like a little bit sizzling, like trying to put off the last remaining flames that are still stuck on his fur.
I need water. Water.
You're the one that provided the water.
Oh, fuck. How do I do that again? Right. Spell. Oh, fuck. Kith like sits up and is like, guys, my head hurts.
It's okay. I still have some left from that you made this morning, and I hand him my water skin.
Oh, thanks. Like forgets how to drink for a second, and like half of it splashes on his face. And then he starts drinking. Is like, why did I need water? Okay, never mind. That's fine. Right, that was a god dying. Oh, shit. Nope, not allowed to say that.
Nope, not shit. Not allowed shit.
Fuck.
There we go.
Poopy.
Poopy. Trying to talk with my tongue half sticking out of my mouth is fucking annoying.
You chose this.
I know.
No, I chose it for him.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay, guys, that wasn't you, right? Right, that wasn't, right?
you could probably see like Greff has probably been standing pretty still for a while, and now he's just like he's stomping, he's kicking at the ground, and he just picks up a rock and chucks it as hard as he can in just a random fucking direction.
Ow, the fucking hurt. Ow. Why?
And you can see he wants to scream, but he knows there are fucking like UNT somewhere around, and it's just like
Ivoris is still looking over the side of the thing, and his hairs on the back of his neck are kind of like prickly out.
Oh, look, there's gems.
He's floofy.
Picks up a gem. Oh, look, there's another one. And another one.
Oh.
And another one.
I don't know what happened. They came out of my fur.
Can you just make gems?
No.
We can go into business together. We could make a lot of money.
Money? We can make money with colorful gems?
Yes. There's a lot of rich people that like buying them for some stupid reason.
Why? All they do is glitter.
Exactly. People are amused by shiny things.
That's weird.
Ivoris, as you have kind of wandered off a little bit and you kind of see the crevasse before you, you see many UNT that you had only just heard kind of as you were approaching this place as the god died. As you look down now fully into the crevasse, you can see that it is filled with a red mass. You can see things writhing in it. And you become aware that there are a lot of UNT and much, much smaller creatures wandering around in there. Some of them are helping each other up. Some of them are pushing each other back down. They seem like a rabble, lost with no idea exactly what just happened or why. But there are a lot of them.
Iris's back of his neck and his tail is all poofed out because he's upset.
Oh.
He kind of just whispers to his ring. So what do you think?
I think that I might recognize this place.
Huh. You've been here.
Indeed. I think I remember coming from here, but this looks bloody. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Apologies. I've been listening, but you are looking for the Forge of the World?
Apparently so.
It's not a good translation. We called it the Maker's Helm. I think this is the same place. And if it is, I think I know how to get there without being. There's the word seen, spotted, lighted.
Seen? You know a way there that the auntie you don't know?
Maybe less travelled. But as for unknown, I could not say reliably.
So this way down, does it get to the bottom, or is this a choose the lesser traveled path to get there over going to the bottom of the crevasse?
If I am right, the path that means we don't get lighted means we will avoid most of them down there. But it will take some path through them, just not across them in night. Other passages in Maker's, the Forge of the World. There are passages I know. I grew up here, if it is the same place. Could help. Not to be not to be seen.
We can try that. Unfortunately, I do have business to attend to down there. However, that pretty much answers my other question of what to do with you. I don't think I can exactly afford to lose someone at the moment who could help me out later. I certainly don't wish to die. What happens again? What happens to you and to me if I died with this on?
I get booted into the ether.
To the ether.
You take my place. Yes.
Where is the ether?
It's underneath.
You mean the stalking?
No, underneath the... Do you mean flat of dead?
Spectres? Bellum?
Yes.
Cicero?
Yes. If you call it the stalking, yes. It's underneath the stalking and underneath rest place and unrest place, and under what we know, and under where the gods live.
You're familiar with a few more places than I am, I think. I doubt you want to go there.
No.
And I don't want to be stuck in your position.
No.
Fuck.
There are ways to get me free normally to the plane of dead.
And how would we do that?
We need a cleric, I think, or a paladin. Very powerful one.
Well, hopefully that time arises. But we won't find any of that down there. Well, actually.
No.
We are potentially trying. I don't think Ivoris knows exactly.
That is true.
I don't think Ivoris knows that. Does he know the information that the people that they're saving are religiously inclined, like thematically? Or does he just know there's people captured there? Because
I think
someone knows that there's like a...
Yeah, I think between all of you, you've
purpose.
had the information. It's just whether how much of that information you all shared.
Oh, goodness. See, that's the thing.
But either way, the ring hasn't heard it. He tries not to listen, but also does listen, so who knows? And also, he's trying to listen to a language that's 5,000 years older than he knows, so...
Yeah.
A little difficult.
Okay, well... If you could guide us to the parts less seen, that would be great. Do you think it's worth doing that right off of the bat? Or should we stroll in like we are not expecting to be challenged?
If this is Maker's Helm, then I can find quick ways for you to escape. But when you are in the center of this ground, there is nothing I can do other than tell you to run. But if you have business here, perhaps business on the way out?
I just don't want business to run away.
I don't understand, but okay.
Haven't been listening to all of it, huh?
I am struggling to keep up with your speeds sometimes. And I think you have changed since being on the road again. I can't rip into your dreams.
That would be because Dendar is helping me.
You're choosing to ally with Dendar.
Not for anything more than a single goal. The goal of stopping them from doing whatever they're doing here, I guess. Though her thing is a bit more personal and single-targeted than that. I hope we are able to stop what they're doing. I don't really know what they want to do here. We certainly won't be able to kill all of them. He kind of looks over the edge.
I hope that I can keep helping you. But if you follow Dendar in a way that I can't be okay with, I will not unlight your path.
I have been told I do not need to contribute to Dendar's nightmares.
I will see for myself.
Of course. You are stuck with me, so what are you going to do if you're disappointed? Iris kind of laughs and is kind of pointing fun now.
I guess I will hope for your death.
You could... Are you going to hope in silence like you usually do? That would be rather okay.
He pointedly doesn't respond. But you kind of get the feeling that he is also like poking fun back, but there is an undercurrent of truth there.
Yeah.
So, what do the four of you want to do now?
Well, I think Greff's like patting off Cass and getting him to stand up. Just like, all right.
Everyone's just cleaning Cass up. Kiss. No.
Yeah, Kith.
Kiss,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Kaz is not wrong. Just, I don't think I gave you that name.
Yeah.
Can we just like, I don't know, lay back down for like...
No.
I don't think this is the place and time for this.
I'm extra crispy, and I really don't want to use my magic so soon. I have boo-boos. So many boo-boos.
And things are just going to get worse, so clean yourself up.
That requires magic. Okay, fine.
Tawree's just idly rubbing some self-made salve on some of your open wounds.
Oh, why does it smell like aloe?
Because it's aloe?
I mean, I do have burn marks, I guess.
Hello.
I don't want to use my magic right now. It's gonna be a fucking waste. I have healing potions. I'm gonna drink 2 healing potions.
Okay. You chug 2 healing potions. Which level are they? I assume you know how many D4s.
They're the
plus
basic ones, so 2d4 plus 2.
Whew.
Also, I feel like I should have a
You don't
couple
let
on
me
my
make the
sheet,
better ones.
and I don't have them on my sheet.
You feel like you should have what on your sheet, Neil?
A couple healing potions from past
I definitely
things.
gave you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't remember using them.
I gained back 13 HP. That's not a lot.
Jesus. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm used to guys having like 1,000,000 HP.
Good news, guys. I'm basically at half my health. Actually, that's exactly half my health.
Nice.
I can't use any more of my magic right now. If we're going into fights, I need my stuff.
Your stuff's going to be useless when you're dead, dude.
I mean, that's fair.
Please, top yourself off, man. It's.
So the funny thing is, from a mathematical standpoint, I just might as well eat a whole fuckload of good berries. Because healing word will not heal me for nearly as much.
Oh, yeah, shit. You only have healing word. You don't have, good cure wounds, do you?
Cure wounds is trash.
So I'm using the thing where I have 8 D6s in my pool. V, if we hate that, I'll just in character formally ask Dindar for my old healing back or something.
You can because you haven't used any of the healing pool. You can just keep lay on hands instead.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I kind of want to try it. But if it turns out just to be terrible, then I'll bring it up in character.
We can make the Dendar deal, and you can have lay on hands instead of the pool. That's something you can definitely ask for in the future.
But as of right now,
we can try out this healing pool thing, and then we'll go over to laying hands if it gets to be total trash fire.
As of right now, I have 8 D6s, and I'm not convinced I need to use any of them right now because they're bonus actions. So I can do that in a combat. And my other things are one of my 2 spell slots, so I can't really help that much. But if we get in an oh shit situation, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he can wild shape into something with a gazillion HP.
I can't, V. I'm not one of those druids.
Not yet.
Don't you have at least 1 wild shape a day?
I have 2 wild shapes, but I can't turn into high CR things.
That's fine.
This is very different.
Challenge rating. So, your basic bitch spider is not going to be considered a high challenge rating compared to, say, a polar bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all see Kith just start chanting, and then 16 good berries appear, and just all the berry juice just everywhere, all over the mouse. There's just smears of purple red.
Did I make you describe your good berries before? How big are they? What are they?
They're berries. I don't know. They look like blueberries, but they're kind of they're more heavily into the purplish red. Okay. All right.
So more is it Veruca Salt from Charlie Chocolate Factory? Where she turns into this giant, bluish purple.
Not that. No, heavier into the blue.
Not that blue?
More bluish red. Think a red grape, but smaller.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm with you now. Purple.
So I used 2 of my first level spell slots to devour berries.
Okay.
If all else fails, you can turn yourself into a crow.
No, I can't.
Us from the air.
I can't fly yet.
Oh no!
That's why I keep harassing V to make us level 8.
Nope.
Level 8 is when I can fly.
Haven't earned it yet.
I can turn into a giant eagle and fuck off.
Yes, because flying away worked so well for you in a pinch the last time.
You consume 16 good berries and you feel your body begin to recuperate. Those kind of burning sensations you got, that overall stinging sensation from having been hit by lightning, just begins to slowly ease away.
Oh. Thinking out loud in brain. Are you guys okay? No, out loud in brain. In brain. Brain friends. God friends. God brain. Not feeling so wise right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
We're fine, thank you.
Okay, making Thor. That wasn't one of your friends, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Sending brain hugs.
Brugs.
You feel brain hugs back. You feel a lot of grief.
Oh. Okay, all right, I'm feeling better. We need to get down there and kick some ass, because now I'm feeling really upset.
Yeah. All right, Ivoris, you've been real quiet for real long. What are you thinking?
Well, what is the plan? What are we going to do?
We need to get down there and do the thing.
Well, anyone can just walk up to something that's going to kill them. How do we do this?
So, I think the plan of prisoners wasn't the worst one.
Is everyone going to be okay with that? And Ivoris is kind of side-eyeing at, what is your name?
Tawree?
Tawree.
I didn't have a plan to begin with. I was just going to do my own thing, but I've never tried it, but if you say it would work, we might as well try that. It's our best option.
You're welcome to do your own thing, because your own thing would probably make a quick distraction for us anyways. But you are welcome to do, I think, what we are saying we are going to try is taking you in as prisoners.
Doing my own thing I would have just run there and smashed them all to pieces as much as I could until I found my children.
That's not going to work.
I know that it won't work, but I have to try something.
Ivoris is going to get out ropes and strip a cloth into strips and kind of take them against the dirt a bit, roll them around, and find a rock to like grind them a bit so that they fray a little bit and look kind of like they've been stressed a little bit.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'll take that. That's good.
Does Ivoris know how to tie a fake knot? Ivoris with Baskin and being who he is.
Yeah. Okay. That was exactly what I was thinking. Like, Baskin would have shown you how to tie some knots. Whether you have retained a lot of that knowledge is entirely up to you. But I think it's more than fair to say that he would have shown you.
Kinky birds been tying knots together?
Well, I'd have read that book, V, the one about all the tying people up. Well, just the two.
You read that one book. You know, the one book.
Right, that book. Okay, that is not descriptive on how to tie knots, okay? It's more about the other thing that book is involved in, okay?
The Tapaxa Sutra.
Okay, stop this. No, because Tapaxa Sutra is now going to be a reference.
I have an idea. Kith is going to take some of the fresh blood that may have poured out of any injuries from being smote.
Mm-hmm. Smote, yep.
And just start like, it's going to sound gross, but essentially just rubbing it on Greff and Tawree to make it look like they got beaten the shit out of. Like put some around the wrists and whatnot, make it look like the rope has been like grinding away at their skin and everything, you know, like maybe side of the head or something.
It did rain blood, right?
Yes, it did.
Now, we're in the desert, so it's probably absorbed mostly, but
it's still on us. It crossed it over.
Yeah, like, I think that plus the, like, some, like...
Took a shower in it.
Intentional, like, rubbing of, like, sand and garbage on us is gonna make us look real fucked up.
It's gotta look specific, though. Like, if it's just, it looks like it rained on you, but it has to look like it was, like, caked on, you know, like...
Yeah. Just get some on my face. Like, I think that usually, like, you usually fall on your face when you're being dragged around like this.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. The only two of us that did not get hit by lightning are the ones that are supposed to look beaten up.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
So we're having ropes and cloth strips that have been aged. I'm doing air quotes. Mm-hmm. And also, like, adding to the effect of, like, the fact that Tawree and that Greff have probably been involved in some scuffles, having been tied up and all that good shit. Is there anything else you are doing to continue creating the illusion of prisoners, or are you just going to go as you are?
I hate this, but Greff is going to give Orkin carved and his fancy new blade to whoever's going to be standing in front of him. And the intention is to have it placed on that person in such a way that I could, like, get it off him in one quick motion.
So they're kind of like crossed on his back. You just reach forward and grab two great long swords.
Yeah, you could put them in Ivoris' shield area where he can have a shield on his back and they could, like, be behind them. Just don't cut my spine out when you
I'll try to not Attack on Titan the fuck out of you while I draw the blades.
So walking order would be Ivoris, Greff, Tawree, Kiss.
Yeah.
Hey, Tawree, does Tawree have weapons?
No, I have a giant
She has a wooden spoon.
Yeah, a wooden spoon. That's what I wanted to say.
A giant spoon. Does that is that a weapon? Like, so we confiscate that? Confiscate? Air quotes.
That's entirely up to you as to whether it looks lethal or not.
Ivoris?
If you think it creates the illusion that, like,
What is
Tawree is a simple cook, maybe keep the spoon, but if you think it makes them look menacing,
gonna care about
then
a
you
spoon.
probably want to remove it.
Okay. But what if they think
Our giant spoon's threatening.
Are you going to make snake soup with it?
What? Excuse me?
Are you going to make snake soup with it?
I mean, if we beat enough of those, of the UNT up, we can make snake soup.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's what I need the giant spoon for.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. We'll just leave the spoon. I don't know. Do we need to do anything else? Ivoris, do I look okay? Do I need to change anything?
Yeah, Ivoris will take
kind of
Kith
looks
to the side.
Okay, all right.
All right, a couple things.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to be offended. Go ahead. Just lay it out. I need to look good. Or bad. Good, bad.
Don't. The eyes. Make your eyes slimmer. Don't make them dilate in the dark. They don't do that.
Okay.
Or they wouldn't.
All right. There's like a ripping sound and the eyes just start shifting.
Oh, gross. Love it.
How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next.
Your teeth. Your teeth. Make them shorter, but your fangs. Make them pointier, longer. Wonderful. You've gone through about 2 transformations, 2 rituals for what all of this would be.
Okay.
No one is born with transformations unless your parents were very powerful. Direct descendants, but most people are not born with anything.
I don't know who my parents are.
No, you wouldn't. And that brings me to the point that you and I are not brothers.
Okay. All right. Not brothers. All right.
No.
I should probably change my pattern then, huh?
Do you look like a whole lot like me?
Yeah.
We're very similar. You're the
you
only
were the only
Yanti.
template that was available.
Like, I carbon copied you and did some slight hue shifting. Slight. I took a picture of Ivoris, put it into Photoshop, and just clicked the hue shift button and just started dragging the slider a little bit.
I am an artist.
This is going right on my MySpace page.
Why don't you just apply filter black and white and you will even be able to hide better?
Yeah. Okay, black and white. Wait, can I do like the mittens thing? Can I have like the white hands? And then like the rest of it is like black? Is that an option? Oh wait, no, that's more at the back fee.
Well, I mean,
wait.
If you need something to work off of, you could maybe use me as a template.
No, but you're at the back. You're actually at the back fee. I need to be a snake.
Oh.
You would just take whatever pattern there is and smear it into more of a snake-like pattern. That's all there is.
Okay.
If they are spots, make them blotchy. If they are stripes, make them blotchy.
There's like very subtle, like cracking and snapping and skin ripping and fur that's just
Tawree turns
growing and.
Would it help if Greff gave you like a pattern to like follow, a tabaxi pattern that he recognizes? It would be unique enough that it's not somebody else's in our team.
That depends if you're going to end up making it where I have like a penis on my back or something.
What? No. This is very important. We're not hanging out at the leaky bucket. This is a mission.
Okay.
I think Greff just kind of gently puts one finger on your back and just starts tracing it.
It's like as you're tracing it, there's like a ripping and distorting effect, like your fingers trailing it.
Yeah. And he's like drawing out patterns, and as he's doing it, like right around here, it gets a little bit redder. And then we're gonna finish the circle, and there we go. And that should be like this kind of orange tinge red. And over here, and Greff's just kind of painting out a pattern on you.
Okay.
What is this pattern, Aethel?
You know exactly what that pattern is.
I don't.
It's Princess Boo.
No, that's bad.
Princess Boo is a black cat, isn't she?
Princess Blue is a black cat with like a white tummy.
Oh, what? I was imagining them like red.
No.
No, Princess Blue is black and white.
Have you not seen Neil's actual cat?
I have, but I'd forgotten that until I said Princess Boo. That's where she came from. All right, it's some random tabaxi then.
Some guy
so
that you
cute.
cheated out of money.
Yeah.
You do Baskin's print very well, and Iris raises an eyebrow.
How do you know this? You were never allowed at Baskin's.
Wait, no what? I didn't do anything.
He's the one and only celebrity I've ever been around. I'm allowed to be fascinated.
He's the one that did the drawing. I just did the warpy thing with it.
Why do you think I was so speechless?
All right.
Okay, so a new pattern has been drawn onto Kith in such a manner that Kith is not recognizable as, oh, hey, there's twins. And
they look
you have
more
made
snake-like.
that deception. Yeah, you made that deception a little bit more convincing. Greff and Tawree have been stripped of their weapons, but in such a way that Greff can get hold of his orcan carved and fancy blade. You two are tied up with fake knots where they look convincing, but with just like a simple twist of your arms, which Ivoris can show you, you can very easily get out of them.
Ivoris will do Greff first in front, so like everyone could watch, and Greff can do the example, like, here, Greff, now just break out of it. Okay, great. Now everyone's seen how I tie it. Everyone just watch, and so you can feel safe.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can, like between the four of you can spend time like practicing making these knots on each other and like taking them apart so that everyone feels like you're in the rhythm, you're in the routine, you know how to do this. Everyone is convinced and happy that this is a thing. I'm very glad that you spent time doing that, because otherwise I would have made an entire action to get out of the ropes and grab your weapons. So good job on that. It's now on your bonus.
Do we need a safe word?
A safe word?
How about spoon?
Yes.
Spoon?
Spoon seems fine to me.
It is my weapon of choice.
All hail Queen Spoon.
All hail Queen Spoon! Long may she reign!
Oh.
All right. Real question. Should we do or say anything specific about us that would get us quicker or closer to the Forge of Worlds? Forge of the World? Which is it? I feel like we've been switching back and forth.
Singular.
Forge of the World.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Well, you don't want to come off to them as just meat, because that will be very quick for them to achieve.
All right.
You want to make yourself useful.
So, am I right in that UNT kind of value useful and strong people? That's what I felt like you were talking about earlier.
If you're captured, they will give you to those who worship Dendar, and they will slowly make you lose sense of reality. And during the times you are awake, you will be not of your own will as well, until eventually you are not there at all. And you are empty. And you always only do what you are told.
Okay, that sounds awful.
But that would take a long time.
Okay, good.
That would be the end game. That's where you want to make yourself seem like they want you, you know, so that you're not immediately killed. However, you don't want to be actually captured. No, that would be horrible.
So, the UNT and whatever those other things are, they seem to be a little bit frazzled by the current situation. They did not expect this.
Right.
So I think it is our best chance now. But if you get us asked about us, what are you going to say?
How do you mean?
What are those prisoners? Where are you taking them?
Let me put it this way, Greff. I would already be fully transformed at this age if I were a part of the Yontis helping them, as long as it would have been required for me to have... I have an idea to play off my interests in that.
Okay.
We'll follow your lead.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to get us closer to the forge?
No, but I have another way of getting there.
Right. All right, we'll follow your lead. I just wanted to be a little bit in on the plan there.
Have you been to the forge before?
No, but apparently someone has. And Ivoris kind of shakes his hand with a ring on it.
Who?
An acquaintance.
Someone you know has been there.
Apparently.
No, we know about the ring. I remember now. We know about the ring.
You do.
Greff,
I'm not going to tell
knows about the ring.
I'm not going to tell the one that
chop off
hates Yanti that I'm conspiring with other Yanti right now, though.
Yeah, you considered chopping off your finger to get that thing off. I remember.
Yeah, on a couple of occurrences because we've done some unsafe things, Greff. Aran very much would have liked your last plan, but he would have hated this one, Greff. Scamos would have liked this plan. He would have loved to see me do this. Baskin would tell you that all that Ivoris ever wanted, more than appeasing the gods, was to make Scamos change his mind. He would say Ivoris was bitter, and I would be mad because I would not understand how bitter is also an emotion. And Ivoris looks kind of frustrated at the fact that bitter is also an emotion. Do you think Baskin's going to understand the transformation bit? You mentioned it. Do you think I'm making a mistake?
No, I think I came at it from a position of ignorance, I think is the best way to phrase it. I was afraid you were gonna sell away your humanity to look right. But...
There's that word again.
You were gonna sell away your personhood. Ooh, this sounds so much smoother and everybody's totally into this. I should write monologues like this. Guys are dildos.
I think we went with the word soul. We think soul would have been like a more apt word.
Yeah.
Individuality. No, soul's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we went with soul.
No.
Because like polymorph definitely exists in this world and people could go through true polymorph. Like 100%.
I think I came at you from a position of ignorance, I think is the best way to say it. I was afraid you were trading your soul just to look right, and I didn't want that. I know Baskin wouldn't have wanted that. Now, I know Baskin doesn't care what you look like, or at least that's what I assume from what I've seen your interactions, but if it's something that would make you feel happier and make you feel more at peace with yourself, then I think it's worth it. Sorry, I didn't mean to put doubt in your mind. I think what you're doing is the right thing. I just didn't understand, I guess.
Ivoris, takes one of the pieces of cloth and, puts it over your mouth and ties it around the back.
Because he's feeling awkward.
And gives you a pat on the shoulder. Thank you, Greff.
Beautiful.
And now kiss.
No, not with the cloth in the mouth. You have to take that out first.
Oh, cuckoo.
That's not what it said to do in threads.
Repeat on the other ones that should not be talking. But we don't do a cloth in the mouth to keep them from talking. They can probably just talk, but I assume that they're going to be smart enough to know that they shouldn't
yes.
be very obvious.
It's a sequel
they don't have their mouth stuff.
It's a sequel of Threads. It spawns.
Oh, Lord.
Since the death of Lathander, you all notice that the bunny has been conspicuously absent.
That's creepy.
Tawree probably doesn't notice this because it keeps happening.
But also, I think having a demon shadow bunny follow y'all probably gonna ruin the illusion that you are prisoners.
One of the aunties
By
gonna go
having a
look
cute
in
ass
there.
bunny follow you.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's not tempt that fate. Okay. With your
Do I have a way to contact the bunny when it's gone?
no.
Okay.
But the bunny, it would let you down randomly, but also be there randomly and also help you without you asking randomly. Like the bunny is definitely an agent of chaos.
I will just keep an eye out, like peeking into the shadows anytime I like while we walk down there, just looking.
Okay,
and in case I see it, I'm trying to whisper to it to stay hidden.
Yeah, I'll bear that in mind. So occasionally I'll just mention where the bunny is if it deems itself wanting to be seen.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The sun is setting proper. It's the kind of night-ish, day 61. You make your way down. Are you running in a single file? Are you making your prisoners walk in front of you, behind you? Are you going down in a line? How are you planning on getting down?
I think we had a walking order.
One in the front, one in the back.
Yeah, Ivoris at the front and Greff behind him so he can grab the swords. Me
and then
behind
Tawree,
Greff.
then me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Great. Okay.
Squishy ones in the back.
It takes you some time to find an easily climb downable area. This crevasse is quite deep and you walk for a fair distance. I mean, you have been talking and preparing for a while. We can definitely say you've done this on the move. And you've been practicing. So you've gone a fair distance and you found the easiest way down, bearing in mind that you have two prisoners with their hands tied together. I assume tied together.
Mm-hmm.
You walk through the crevasse. As the sun is setting, you can see that it's turned orangey purple above you, but down here in the crevasse, it's nothing but shadows. It's dark. And occasionally, as you look around for your shadow companion, Tawree, you see the glinting of big bunny eyes, just here and there, looking down at you, from ledges up inside the crevasse, from hiding behind rocks that you just pass. They're ever watching. They're nowhere near.
Is it far off in the distance?
They're just around.
Okay.
So you could look to the left and you'd see a pair of bunny eyes up. You'd look forward and just past the rock, you'd see them again. Like, they are keeping their distance.
Can I try to calling out to him? Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No. They're kind of a bit too far away to whisper to.
Okay.
But from the way that they're moving, from the places that you spot them, you definitely get the idea that they are keeping their distance from you.
Okay.
And they are staying hidden in these shadows. If it wasn't for the fact that you were specifically looking out for them and they wanted you to see them, you would not have seen them at all.
Mm-hmm.
Ivoris is going to cast light on an object on Greff's person, because that's what a Yancy would do to keep track of a prisoner that would try to run off into the dark side.
Okay.
And also, so I can see.
What would you like to light on him?
Oh, probably just like a nothing too like obvious right now. Some kind of like dim light, you know? It's not gonna be too blinding. Everyone's just waiting for this light to like get to the bottom of the thing that they see, you know? No, it's kind of just a watch where we're going type thing, but it does kind of make Greff. It's kind of like a soft light.
Just on Greff or on both of us?
I think I can only do it on one thing. So he's doing it on Greff, the one that he's kind of.
I think Greff has like a shoulder pommel that is like kind of something that could be easily lit up and would like make it very obvious if he's like running away.
Yeah.
Which would make sense as a.
I was going to do
you're not
something
the tallest.
That's not at eye level, but okay.
I am not the tallest person because everybody is pretending to be tabaxis, which are freakishly tall.
Excuse me, I'm not a tabaxi.
You're pretending to be a tabaxi.
No, I'm a Jan Bakthi. I don't know what the fuck this is. It's weird.
Yeah, Baxi.
Tabunti?
Tabunti?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so yeah, a piece of your armor can definitely be lit. Just a nice softish glow so that it doesn't overwhelmingly blind, but enough for you to see your way. As you walk across the bottom of this canyon, the bottom of this crevasse, you see off in the distance as you begin to get closer, you begin to see a lot of moving shapes. The blood itself has been mostly absorbed by the rocks and by the dirt of the ground. Like, looking at Greff, most of that blood that has fallen from the sky has basically been taken off in perspiration, but the kind of places where you've clogged and matted, they remain. The shapes that move off in the distance are either very, very tall they're either very, very tall, and you would recognize them to be Yuan-Ti. You can almost feel that cold presence as you get closer to them. But Greff, you would also recognize the smaller creatures that are wandering around them as being halflings. Some of them are wearing plate and armor, some of them are just wearing cloth, but they seem to be mixed in amongst these Yuan-Ti. Some of them band together for what looks like protection, but others seem to be trying to get into this Yuan-Ti lifestyle. But for those of you who have the Yuan-Ti blood, you know that they are not being accepted whatsoever. As you approach, in the back of your mind from your ring, you hear, just past the tallest one, there should be a large rock stacked with smaller rocks on top, very tall. Just past that to the left. It's a squeeze, but that should get you to a pathway. Should get you inside, but it is past those guards.
We do have to interact with these.
I'm afraid so.
Okay. In case they've been spotted, I'm not stopping to look like I'm scheming in any way. We're just going to keep going.
Okay.
Oh no, V.
Ivoris, stop looking suspicious.
I'm not looking sus.
Ivoris is looking sus.
No.
Tawree is definitely very tensed up by the whole surroundings. She's seen these creatures. No,
as you approach, and is your intent to make your way straight to the big rock, with the rock, when you finally see it, described as by your ring companion, whose name I'm never going to remember or pronounce? Fuck you, Thirsty. Are you going to is your intention to make your way straight there when you see it, or are you going to try and make it more of a meandering, natural-looking path?
Yeah,
or do you want to
I
stride
don't want
with
to
purpose?
seem like I know exactly where I'm going, because that's suspicious.
Okay. All right, great. Okay. You make your way towards this encampment of people. As you get closer and closer, you see a tall Yuan-Ti and a halfling just take a few steps forward as if ready to greet you. The Yuan-Ti is standing tall and proud and looking down their nose in your general direction. The halfling looks overly excited. Like, this is the most interesting they've had since the blood fell from the sky. The Yuan-Ti takes a step forward and says, "Identify yourself."
Quick question, V. How many Yuan-Ti are there here? Yes.
Fuck ton.
Okay. Bad place. Got it.
Emphasis on the fuck.
Fuck ton. Yes. So if you want specific numbers, there are something like 12 Yuan-Ti in a mixture of
that's enough
being very big, being slightly smaller, some Yuan-Ti that you would recognize as being more magic focused than being focused on transformations. They are in various forms of transformations. The very tall one that you saw in your visions that had been identified to you by Dendar as being Druid, not that they pointed them out to you yet, but they definitely will, and you're pretty sure you know what they look like. You can't see them yet, but you know they're wandering down here somewhere. As for the halflings, there are probably about a dozen of those as well. Again, in a variety of things like plate and cloth, and whether they're fighters or whether they're magic users.
V?
Who has the highest passive perception?
I used to.
Yeah, you used to. I have 16.
Sorry, bud.
You're higher than me now.
Oh, no.
Passive. Perception.
Mine's
Wait.
15.
Just perception
10.
plus 10.
Perception. 16.
Damn it!
Yeah, did
You
have
had
a-
the unluckiest set of rolls, my friend.
Are you surprised?
But Kessi also had exactly the same. Kessi lost 3 from their strength.
Arch, we're not surprised, but we are entertained.
Are you not entertained?
You get me, man.
If these people that are magic users have abandoned their gods and are also warlocks, Ivoris would suspect that they have lost that power, right? That would be my instinct, that those who have abandoned their god, unless the thing that they found is more powerful and can do the same shit.
Or, destroy entire worlds.
I don't think that Ivoris would know much about warlocks. I mean, he is kind of one now.
Yeah.
But the transferring of warlock stuff, you're not actually 100% sure how that would work, because most of the Yonti growing up, so far as you know, would be Dendar. Like, that's just what you worshipped now. Like, way back in the past, you knew it was another big, powerful creature, but when that thing got defeated, Dendar was the natural choice following that. You never suspected, never figured, never would have in thousands of years figured that they would change your allegiances. Not all the magic users would have been warlocks. Some of them would have been like wild magic sorcerers or, bards. Not that they'd be great in this world, but they could probably, do some pretty badass beats and slam poetry. Yeah.
Thor's face.
We are not facing a bard. Don't look at me like that either.
Just the concern. Okay. Ivoris takes a moment to collect himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello. Look at all of you. Very organized. Wow. Hello.
You've been hanging around people too much.
If you did not know of this place and our organization.
I have questions. If you wouldn't mind. Someone let it slip that you aren't following Dendar anymore.
And you hear the halfling also kind of like giggle. No.
Something came along better.
Dendar is... Yes. Dendar is so small in comparison.
Well, wonderful to meet you. I want in.
Take a persuasion check.
That's a bold way to go. I like it a lot.
Now I don't have to pretend like I know any of these idiots.
Bold move. I love it.
Dirty 20.
Yep.
Oh,
filthy.
That's a 9 on the
20.
die.
V, I will make mention as well, while this conversation is happening, Kith is very, very pointedly like scanning the guard and the halfling.
Okay.
Basically, Kith is trying to commit to memory what they look like, so if the jig is up, maybe I can do a little, one of those things. A little,
a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah.
Steal the baby out of the crib, turn into the baby.
Yeah. The Yuan-Ti is far further along in its progression than you have modified yourself. The scales are very evident. The fangs also. The eyes are kind of like this yellowish orange color, but you see often it has flicks of purple coming across it too.
Cool.
The halfling itself has masses of red hair, and he also has a well-trimmed, gingerish beard. They have the biggest, brightest blue eyes. They're wearing, let me have a look. They're wearing what looks like plate mail, and they also have a shield.
Oh, shit, I can't
This
wear
person
plate.
clearly knows their way around weaponry. Can I also get you to roll a perception check to find out one other detail, which will only irritate Aethel and the rest of you who are Discorans?
30-20.
A dirty 20. You notice that upon the halfling's body, that like just somewhere randomly, kind of a bit out of place, but you see this round onyx pin, which is somewhere on their armor.
Ah, you bits. Not you. I'm talking about the halfling.
Oh, okay, cool.
Am I aware of halflings? Like, since I kind of lived in the in-between?
Oh, yeah.
I'll take a history check, I guess. Like halflings would have passed through, but whether you'd be like really familiar with them or know much about them at all.
12.
Not really. You've heard of halflings, and you very easily get them mixed up with gnomes.
They're both small.
Like you don't really...
Okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of like you only have very peripheral knowledge of them. You both know that they're like roughly like somewhere between 2.5, 3.5 feet, maybe. They kind of have like kind of pointed-ish ears. One lives a really long time, one doesn't. But other than that, you couldn't like, unless you really got to know the differences between them, like at a scan, you'd have no idea.
I can always try to communicate in their native tongue, of which mine is a little outdated.
Yeah, just a tad. Small amount. Okay, on a filthy 20, Ivoris. Sure, seems reasonable. You would forsake Dendar as we have.
Well, you just said the thing was more powerful, did you not? Now, Dendar might be quite mad. Is there someone around who followed Dendar and might know of any ways of avoiding retribution in that regard? He's kind of looking around to even scope any of the like things he would recognize Dendar to be, like any like weird sleeping quarters for the servants where they would have the Dendar people hang out at more, like anything at all.
Doing the of course thing with the hands and turning left and right.
Yeah, where's the Dendar
as you
stuff?
kind of like like as you're kind of like looking around for the Dendar stuff, like there just kind of isn't. Yeah. Like it's fairly obvious, like to a UNT that they have given up the pathways. For anyone who isn't, it just looks like a regular camp. But to Ivoris, like this screams something is different, something is wrong. They have ways of removing and changing marks, but it is singularly unpleasant. Come, what are these, and who is this? And they point at your two prisoners and at Kith.
This is another Yanti.
I can see that.
Great. And these are the two that we are going to use to get where you are. And this one here is pointing at Tawree?
Tawree.
What? Hold on.
Tawree.
Tawree? Okay.
Yeah.
Tawree. Okay. Pointing at Tawree. And this one we found trying to get here kind of helped us find you a little bit better. Would have taken us a couple more days. Just trying to make up extra information at this point to throw them off.
The best way to lie is to mix in some truth.
Yeah.
Tawree looks at the guy and through the mouth gag, she gives him a grin with her fangs and growls.
Adding to the illusion. Okay. They point in the they look over at Kith, and at Kith they say, "You would also give up the riches of Dendar."
Of course. I go to the highest bidder.
Then why do you serve this one? And they point at Ivoris.
Serve?
Mutual
you
benefit.
You spoke first. This one. And he points at Kith. This one is further along than you.
This is another Yanti. Like I said, we just met. We haven't done a whole lot of talking other than to know that we seek the same goal. I don't speak for both of us. They can fuck off if they like.
Just that they can fuck off if they would like.
All right. Whoever wants to roll can roll a deception check at advantage.
All right. All right, Neil.
Don't confirm numbers. Just decide who's doing it.
Okay, I'll do it. Because yes, if you haven't guessed, it's one of my good ones. You said at advantage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
27.
Jesus Christ. Listen, I'm good at deception, but I'm not that good.
Fine. Step this way. We shall see what you are made of. We shall keep this one, though. We require strength to continue mining. And they point at Greff.
So how is this all of your camps here?
Yes.
All of you are here. They made it seem like you have achieved a lot.
Those who have answered their call. We are here. Those who ignore the call to our new masters burn and are eaten.
And who exactly is new master? What's the deal?
Well,
In very broken, common Kino, the halfling says,
well, they name themselves Blissful.
Okay, are they a god?
They came as mortal beings, and then that being heralded a entity bigger even than the gods and the sentinels that we knew. So much bigger than this world. They will bring those of us who wanted peace and those of you, and they point at the UNT in the group, power, much power.
And the work. Is it a lot of work? Is it, I don't know, because Dindar is pretty easy. I mean, I find it easy.
Great work is required for them, but so much more power. And you see them put their arm out, and you see them crack and twist their wrist, and you see this spark of magic, even though this person clearly isn't a magic user.
Ivoris has to try to keep his fur from standing up.
This one, though, he looks strong, like a beast. We could use him to continue digging out to power the Great Forge.
Digging out to power the forge. You are digging it out?
Coal.
Coal. Oh. You're powering the forge to make a thing for the thing above gods?
Yes.
Hmm.
Come. Leave this one to the little one. I shall take you to be judged. You can keep the tabaxi. Means nothing to us if it is not strong.
I'm so sorry, Kessi.
Well, being that we are still in negotiation, as it were, this is a resource that we have here.
Walk or die now. And they can see them
not exactly getting bigger, but you can see that they are tensing themselves for a fight. And the change of their voice, it begins to like echo around the crevasse itself. And you see many of the other like people behind them begin to turn and look in your direction. Not exactly hands on weapon yet, but they are aware that their attention is being called. You see that the halfling covered in plate armor has also put a hand on their weapon. The kind of not exactly jovial, energetic nature that they had, it kind of shifts and changes to one that they are tensing and also ready for a fight. They have no worries that it is just the two of you.
Fine. But don't touch them yet.
Come. And the Yuan-Ti like turns and like kind of strides in towards the camp itself. You see the halfling release the tension in their body, take half a step back and just do the thing where they wave you through with one of their arms.
I want to say Greff puts on a little bit of a show here. I think when they start moving away, Greff just goes like, you said they choose me to become stronger, more powerful. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's like a... there's just a muffled... Yeah, there's just a muffled, like... If Greff has any way of signaling to Ivoris, it's like, to tell him, like, it's okay, like, this is, like,
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, Ivoris gives the dismissive wave, not even really turning back to look at you. Just like, the noisemaker again. And just, like, waves.
He's so noisy.
Oh, that big one never shuts up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With the larger Yuan-Ti taking the lead, they stride forward. I'm assuming that the four of you are following?
3.
Great. Leaving Greff behind. I love it.
Greff is going to stay with the little halfling.
The halfling just kind of like puts a gauntleted arm out and just stops you about roughly knee height, and indicating that you should stay with them. All right, Greff, we'll get back to you in a jiff.
Do you want me to take the headphones off?
No, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Like, it's only very specific moments in which I'll ask you to take headphones off, but this is...
I was wondering if you were setting up some kind of a fucking hijinks where Greff will do dumb shit and then get the rest of the pack cast in, like, awful situations.
Greff finds out that he can speak to the halfling. What?
Starts cursing and
No.
Discord
You left
comment.
being able to speak to this halfling in your other character's pocket. Okay. Just hold her for a minute. The three of you are led through the camp, with Tawree kind of like stuck between the two of you. As you begin to make your way forward, you see that very large rock formation off to the left-hand side that you were pointed out to, Ivoris. Greff, I'm sorry, you don't know to look out for this. You see it off to the left and ahead of you. You see that as you begin to like pass this, you see that as the cavern turns, that there is a larger entrance that has been carved or created or made. You notice that in that same side of the wall, let's say it's the left-hand side as you're walking forward, you can also see that there have been passageways and ledgeways much higher up that also seem to lead inside the side of this crevasse as well. Onto the right-hand side, there is nothing in the walls at all. The ground has a lot of makeshift camps, a lot of makeshift places to stay and sleep. You can see that halflings much closer into the center of this are pretty much almost all grouped together. You see the Yuan-Ti are just tolerating their presence. You see ahead of you a very, very tall, very well-built Yuan-Ti. This is probably the biggest, most transformed Yuan-Ti that you have ever seen, Ivoris. Way back in the day, this would have been someone that every single person would immediately stop and pay attention to. This person is above and beyond. This is the person from your vision. This is Jurid. And you can hear Dendar in the back of your head essentially just confirming this. As your eyes look onto them, you feel that you literally cannot look away as Dendar focuses your attention on them. They are standing and they are issuing commands very quickly. And people are doing them without question, without even a yes sir or a yes ma'am. None of that shit. It is just being done. You also notice that they too have one of those dark pins, those dark onyx pins on their kind of like shoulder area. They are carrying what looks like to be a fuck-off huge scimitar. Yep, you know that they only need one to attack quickly. Yeah, they have dark green and orange scales. The orange is also really dark.
If Tawree hasn't been tense before, she is now.
You do notice slightly differently that their eyes, instead of glowing like a yellowish or having like a slightly yellowish or an orange tinge to it, their eyes are just, from the casual observer, just complete pupils. But the more that you look at them, the more that you're forced to focus on the Ivoris, you notice their irises are just completely black. This one. Go speak to this one. And your kind of guide points at Jurid.
Wow.
They shall judge your worthiness of the blissful eclipse.
Can't wait.
I shall hold your captive until then. And you could see that they, and Tawree, you feel a very heavy scaled hand rest and grip your shoulder very tightly.
Oh, V. This sucks. That's scary.
Your deception is pretty good, man.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna walk up.
Yep.
And demand attention of this thing. That's very scary.
What?
Hello, I've been told I need to be judged or whatever for the things that you are doing.
You see them kind of give you a full on look from toe to the very top of your head, and they do exactly the same to Kith.
You have the stench of Dendar on you still.
Well, yes, that was a part of a previous conversation that you weren't a part of, really. We just arrived, having heard that you have found something better. So here we are.
And they turn their attention to Kith.
You have the stench of no one upon you. How is this?
I had already given up Dendar. I found that the power I was receiving was not what I wanted. I wanted more. It just so happened that this one here, we encountered each other. And heard of this place. Heard of something better. Much better.
You see that they turn their attention back to Ivoris.
You would see Dendar dead.
You think I just love nightmares? No. If there is something better out there. Of course. I still don't understand what you are doing. You are powering the forge. That's all I know.
Gonna need a persuasion check.
Natural 2031?
Oh, look at that.
We are... Yes. The blissful eclipse orders us here. So we obey. And it gives us so much power. Accelerated my transformation. So we do its bidding. And when this world is left in ruins, and these creatures...
And they point over at the halflings.
...receive the peace.
And they almost kind of spit the word.
We shall have power over all the ruins that remain. None shall be more powerful here in Bikron than us.
Such, Such, an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time.
Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time.
Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long time. Such an opportunity has not presented itself to us in a long
No, it has not. Dendar could give us only dreams and nightmares. This being, this force gives us so much more. How strong are you? How much are you willing to give to receive all?
Well, in theory, anything I give will be given back, so there's really no limit to that. We'll just be different, yes? Kind of looking this person up and down.
God, Ivoris, you have been around people for too long. You were such a smart ass.
You would give your life.
Well, no. You asked what I would give. I'll give whatever I need to obtain, but if I have no life I cannot attain, well, perhaps I'm not understanding.
You do not. But there is still power to be sought for those who cannot. Those who do not have the strength to give up everything. We can still use you.
Well, it is day one. Perhaps in a short amount of time, I will understand. So you mine? Is that what you do?
Our tributes mine.
Oh, yes.
Those with weak minds mine. We guard and capture and forge.
I was a bit worried. And he kind of like does the arm thing and like squeezes it like, I'm not really built for mining. That's not me.
You look fit to guard. What is your strength?
And they look at Kith.
Kith is gonna just hold out a hand and an orb of fire just appears above it.
You could be useful also to guard within the forge. We shall find places for you to stay, and your tribute. They can stay until you are ready to transform, but we shall not feed them willingly. You must find for them yourselves.
Ivoris like sighs as if he's upset.
Get out of my sight before I destroy where you stand.
Wonderful to meet you. And Ivoris gives a wave and kind of turns around and walks off like nothing's wrong.
Kith has taken a page out of the previous people's book and just not even responding, just immediately, all right, we're leaving. Not like a cowardly,
you feel
just like
you are
all right,
being
we're
watched. Yeah. You feel like you are being watched the whole way, and as you return, like in the general direction of Tawree, you can feel like you one two has their hand on your shoulder, just grip exceptionally tightly, and then almost push you, almost throw you into the other two.
I look back at him and growl at him through the gag.
You can see the thing where they do that thing where they lift their finger to their throat and pull it across, and then they kind of, very confidently walk their way back towards where they were originally. You're kind of left in this camp alone. You're expected to find somewhere to stay or build somewhere to stay. You are given no real directions. All right, I'm going to leave the three of you there for now. Greff.
Why must you hurt me so, V?
Hi-ho, hi-ho. It's off to work you go.
I just, like, you turned up and y'all went, we're going to pretend to be prisoners. Well, nothing I can do about it.
Well, you've made it very clear that going in blade swinging wasn't going to turn out great for us.
Well, the three of you are at least In the camp.
Yeah.
And you're not being attacked.
And one of us is about to be handed a pickaxe, or maybe he's too dangerous with a pickaxe and he's going to be told to use that big old noggin of his.
Oh, they
just start headbutting the rock.
Just use your bare hands.
They won't give you a weapon. They're going to try to steal your brain from you far before they give you a weapon.
What, they're not illithids. They're not going to suck the brain out.
Now, for today, someone can get you to do something mindless for probably 8 hours.
Are there illithids here?
That is
they're mind flayers.
100% true.
I'll
8
be
hours.
so upset if the UNT
That's a
are being
luxury.
like dominated by an illithid behind the veils.
Okay, Greff.
Yes.
The halfling pulls out their... Oh my god, what do they have?
Stuff.
They do have stuff. I'm excited. They pull out their
Nunchucks.
great axe. No.
Okay, fine.
The halfling, covered in plate, pulls out their great axe and begins to push you from behind. You can feel like the point just kind of like shoving into the small of your back as they tell you to march. They push you through the camp. They push you past UNT and other halflings. They push you, in fact, past the biggest and most powerful of the UNT, who is talking to 2 of your companions. You are marched past them into the mine. It is dark here. You can't see very much. But there are torches lit around here and there, and you can hear the sounds of industry, of mining, of weapons on stone. You are walked for a fair distance. You walked past the people who are obviously mining at coal at parts of the wall. You are taken in various directions and a little further away from the mass of people, until you are brought to a small-ish cave. This has clearly been dug out, and you can see that there are other Goliaths here. You can see that there are other very strong-looking tabaxi or very powerful-looking drow here. They all have a very odd look on their eyes. None of them are bound, but you can see that there are a couple of UNT standing around, directing them, speaking words. The halfling reaches forward and takes off your bindings. I need to see if they would have knowledge if this was a ship binding or not. No, they got like a 3, so fuck them. They take the bindings off of your wrists. They look at you. They look back at their UNT companions, compatriots. They just nod upwards once and take a few steps back. You don't know what they're saying. You don't exactly know the words, but you feel like there is a lot of magic, heavy magic in the words that they are speaking to you. And you feel your muscles begin to contract and move as if they are being controlled. Greff, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. I am not especially good at those, but I do have brutish durability, which helps me.
I've prepared you for this moment by doing it to you once.
I know.
By doing it
Focus,
once.
Greff, focus. You've been
Come on,
trained for
Greff.
this.
That's a 15.
The words make you feel as if you have to pick up the nearest pickaxe. As if you have to pick it up and walk towards this shiny substance buried in the walls. You can't stop yourself. You can't break free from this, as you are forced to mine metals from the wall. You don't feel like you can do this. Sorry, you don't feel like you can stop doing this until you pass out. Or at least for the next 8 hours.
Great.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm just trying to see if you have another chance to make a save, but I don't think you do.
No.
You don't have Indomitable yet?
Nope.
Damn.
I
Is
was
that level 8?
Yeah, I was very much
Sorry.
Yeah, V keeps fucking us like this.
I'm not intentionally fucking you, just
V. I don't buy it that you're not intentionally doing this shit.
okay, Kino's way harder than Discora.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fall prey to suggestion.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but unless you get thwacked on the back of the head, or your companions turn up to fuck with the spellcaster. Sorry, dude.
Yep.
All right. So the three of you outside. What do you want to do? I'm going to say it's blatantly obvious. Like there's a Goliath that you very much recognize being walked into the mine. Like he walked past you with like the halfling like poking a great axe in his back. Like I'm going to give you that lead.
Okay. Who is it? It's Ivoris and Kaz. Kith. And who else?
And Tawree.
Oh, Tawree's still with us?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Like your tribute to this cause is still with you.
You have to feed me.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I mean, we don't have to feed you.
Yeah, I feel like that's a trap. If we care enough about you to feed you, then we failed the test.
Oh, no. Well, Tawree isn't doing much. She doesn't want to ruin any illusions. We're being watched, after all. Mm-hmm. So she's just idly standing by.
Oh no, I dropped a good berry on the ground. Oh, well, that's dirty now. I'm not going to eat it.
The demon bunny sneaks up and picks it
yep,
picks it up.
Ivoris is going to make it seem like they're unpacking to stay. So he's going to set some things out, roll out his bed thing in a place a bit of ways from everybody, but where they can still like see the bed where I'm at, like maybe close to the side, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm going to set Tawree down somewhere like probably a good 10 feet away. You know, this is not someone who wants to spend time with the person he dragged here.
Yeah.
But I know I'm responsible for them
that.
innocent, so they get to stand where I can see them and not do anything. And I'm going to... Does my familiar work in the same way as Rawls, is where he can see through it? Because I'm not actually sure. I'm not. Neil doesn't know.
If you link your familiar, like if you link your fancy new thing, which hasn't come up in game yet.
Yeah, that's
the wasp.
It's a wasp.
Remember? Oh, the wasp!
Yeah, it's the wasp.
Fucking hell! Fuck this wasp. Yeah.
Because I was asking if I could turn it into a giant wasp.
Can it be a mosquito instead?
Yeah, fucking hell. No, it's a wasp. Fuck wasps.
Oh, that's why I had a Wikipedia page open for wasps.
That explains a lot.
I just wanted it because I knew it was going to bug V. For the listeners, I just smiled at the camera.
For the listeners, the rest of us gave you a stony fucking response.
For the listeners, you're not going to hear this because Neil's going to cut all this out.
No.
Nobody but Neil's allowed to be funny in this show.
Well, your familiar is within 100 feet of you. You can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn. Gaining the benefit of any special senses. I don't know if wasps can see in the dark, but they're fucking wasps. They're evil, so sure. Why the fuck not? Just add it to their arsenal of like, haha, I'm going to sting you because I'm an asshole and now I can sting you in the dark. I think they can see in the dark. So it's close enough for me.
I mean, if you step on them.
Yeah, but only to within 100 feet. Other than that, it would basically be your faith in your in your familiar to go the distance.
Okay. I think Ivoris sets himself down and tries to look just kind of like he's not napping necessarily, but like lounging, if that makes sense. Kind of like feet propped up, like one on his knee and laying down on his back. And he's going to go into his wasp and try to scope out how big the cave is that Greff just went to and like pinpoint exactly how far Greff is away from us.
So it's very easy to do that. Your senses shift from lying down. You can still feel like where you're laying. You can still sense and feel your, like UNT and the halflings around you. You can still sense Kith. Even a little distance off, you can hear like the faint murmurs and annoyances of your of bound Tawree. You shift into the wasp. It's very much like one of those really bad lucid dreams where you really can't control anything, where you're aware that you're dreaming, but there's dick all you can do about it. And as you like try and direct the wasp forward and into the cave, it does so. It goes into this mine. You can go past the people who are digging and mining the coal. You can see that there is a system that goes far, far beyond. You can just see the back of the halfling as they turn into one of these corridors, taking Greff away from the rest of the workers. But then your range ends. You don't know exactly whether the wasp has continued on to follow Greff, but you know it has your intent at least.
Damn.
Are you going to wait? Are you just going to hope, or are you going to call your familiar back?
I'm going to leave it. If it's going to find Greff, I'll leave it because I can use it as a kind of a, when I get close enough to put my senses back into it, I can check. So I'll leave it there. I have no reason to bring it back right now.
It's a little while, but the wasp does return.
Okay.
They kind of like, they go away and they're beyond your senses. And for that moment, you're worried, like, is this thing even going to come back at all? When you just hear that very faint buzzing noise of a wasp, and then that sound just goes away. And as you look around, as the three of you hear this sound, it's evident you know what this bloody wasp sounds like. You can see it just fluttering nearby to you. I think it communicates with you, right?
That's a good question.
You can communicate with it telepathically. I don't know if it teleports back, though. As the wasp is kind of like grabbing your attention, Ivoris, much like when you try and look into the future, your eyes just kind of glaze over just enough. It sends a singular image, a singular set of images, much like a GIF, I guess, of just like a very small action. And you can see Greff. You see his eyes are glazed over in a way that you are unfortunately all too familiar with. And you see him just going very hard and very fast on the rock and the metal in the wall.
Before we do that, can I stop you a little bit?
Maybe.
I decided to read up on suggestion just to see if I had any way out of it. I need to be able to understand the command. So it cannot be a suggestion. I have to understand the words.
That can hear and understand you.
What are the words it uses to command me to mine the wall?
It would, unfortunately, be using Kino Common.
Yep.
Because it would assume that a Goliath can't speak Yuan-Ti.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you do understand enough Kino Common.
Yes.
So the suggestion it gives you is mine the wall until you pass out.
All right. That's a good phrasing. You got me there.
Thank you.
Then the second one I guess I have is, I have had this done to me before.
Yeah.
I know how this works, and I have a feeling that during our 8 days of travel, it may have come up. Is there any chance that Greff could have, like, tried to just, like, blood rushing to his ears, kind of like just suffocate the sound? I am looking for a reroll or an advantage.
I'm going to say no.
All right.
Because if we want to do specific phrases, mine the wall until you pass out.
Yep.
That is your task. That's the thing you have to do. But that doesn't mean, like, all good people who were like, I went literally to the word of the law, doesn't mean that you can't find ways to subvert that whilst you're mining this wall.
All right.
Like, I already have an idea on what actions you could do to break out of this, but still be following the words of suggestion.
All right.
Get all the coal. Get all the coal.
No,
all the coal.
That's the
all the
thing.
coal.
One more block. One more block.
Almost done. Almost done.
Take the phrasing literally and lick the wall and say, this is mine, mine, mine. Until you pass out.
You do have a pickaxe.
Yes.
And you are smashing through rock and metal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you stew on that. And if not, then I'll be able to give you something in a minute.
Their hearts are cold, Greff. Did I forget to tell you?
No. Yeah, in UNT language, wall means UNT, but wall in Kino Common means wall. No. Okay, I have a way around it, and if you haven't got to it, then I'll circle and I'll be able to give you some info on that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going back to the wasp. So you see this image of Greff going to town on the wall.
What do I do? This has all gone to hell very quickly.
The three of you are safe.
Yeah, I think we need to leave tonight, though. The more I get tested, the closer we are to them just forcing Dindar out of my soul or whatever. So, Let's see. Ivoris is going to manifest his book because it's kind of journaly and he can make it inconspicuous reading. I think he puts it in one of his other
absolutely.
books.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's writing his own dirty fanfic.
Yeah, the comic book inside of Threads. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Well, I burnt Threads because I didn't. I was in my feelings about it.
It was poorly written.
Well,
quickly written.
It just wasn't what I needed
it took me 20 minutes.
And I wasn't sure that I hadn't completely just been bamboozled. So Ivoris was about to burn all of his books, but I didn't want him to burn all his books.
Okay, so you have your journal.
Yes. He's going to try to write to Dindar and get a response.
All right. Baller idea. Baller. Okay, what are you writing? Dear Dindar, today was shit.
Dear Dindar.
How difficult is it going to be to kill that? Can 4 people do it?
Perhaps. Watch out for the halfling, though. Your best chance would be to take it on its own, with backup. Not so likely.
Ivoris writes a very kind of pointed thanks period. We're done now. It's not like a smiley face or anything, No
smiley face, no hug emote. Yeah.
Winky face.
I'm going to try to wake Greff up with a message in my journal.
Greff is outside the range of message?
In my journal, I don't think it matters, but I can click it.
Book message.
Yeah.
Yeah, my book message is something different, I believe.
Greff can still communicate. If that is a thing, he just has to keep doing his task. Until he passes out.
There it is.
You can cast the sending spell, yes. You can cast sending on Greff.
And that's very far away. That's forever
sending
far.
is anything in this plane of existence.
Okay, yeah.
And sending can, on a dice roll, get to other planes of existences too.
Good.
But
because
sending,
that was my
yes,
assumption,
you can
and
do
this
it
was
on
going
this.
to be probably not something that's useful in the future for him and Baskin, but it's something that he feels like would have been very nice to have earlier.
Yeah. Not my fault, dude. You threw this on me. You were like, hey, V, I want to become a warlock. I'm like, okay, I'll figure that out.
I should have done evil magic far sooner.
Stop it. 25 words or less. Remember, the last 3 words have to be I love you.
Oh, that's not Ivoris. He can't love things.
I want to help, but I also can't because I have no direction.
Yeah, are you nearby?
Yes, I've been sticking around nearby.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You see,
I have so many ways to save Greff. You just need to tell me what the fuck we're doing.
Oh, I know. Well,
I can literally turn invisible. and just go get him.
We also have to like wait for like a convenient time for that plan to happen because we want most of them to maybe be asleep. You know?
I can turn 3 out of 4 of us invisible.
I can be invisible, but I don't think I can
3 out of 4 ain't
move.
bad.
What?
Anyways.
All right. Go ahead. What message are you sending to Greff?
Hey, Greff. How's it going?
How far away are you? How far are you?
How's he going to know that?
Uh-huh.
He walked there?
I walked past you guys.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know where we are right now.
No, I will use the big dude as a milestone, though.
Reference. Yeah. All right, yeah. How far are you?
Be patient. We shouldn't stay long.
Okay. You hear this in the back of your mind, Greff. You know that you can respond without speaking out loud.
Greff's gonna send back. I'm being controlled. What would we say? Like I'm like 500 meters away from where I saw the big guys.
I think these things show up in my book as handwriting. Do they?
Being very careful to think in Kino comments so that you can read the bloody book. Yeah, you're some distance off. You'd be like, oh, it's past like the second turning on the right or something.
So like a 10-minute walk.
You are some distance. Yeah, sure.
Damn.
That seems fair.
10-minute walk away from big guy.
I saw the other people mining there with him, did I, Ivy?
Yeah, like you saw like people mining the coal in the walls and in like certain sections, and you did see like the halfling like turn around a corner. So you could extrapolate from that a lot. Like, you know that from whatever point you saw the halfling disappear, which you probably would reckon is like maybe a minute, like it was like a good 10-minute walk according to Greff from that point.
I have a plan, but not 100%.
Ivoris writes, after tonight, we won't be trusted again. Period.
Oh boy. Yeah, those are the 2 words I sent first.
Yeah.
Can we just have a normal conversation? You can do this infinite number of times. Can we stop counting letters and words?
We're just writing in a book.
Exactly.
We're texting.
Fine.
Yeah, just make sure that it's just short sentences.
ABB,
like, don't like
ILY.
a huge run on a paragraph.
All right.
We can't have an argument.
GGG.
Yeah, please don't
Slow
argue.
argument.
Wait. Sending comes in as kind of noise, right?
For you, it would come in as like 25 words in your head. Yeah.
Yeah, but it comes in as like
You would just
noise.
hear Ivoris.
Mm-hmm.
Noise?
Mind noise.
What do you mean?
Yeah, just like
Yeah, mind noise.
Mind
Like,
noise.
just-
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you can hear him whispering in your ear. Like it's just in your mind.
Okay. The next message from Greff is message me loudly in about 2 minutes constantly. And then as Greff is swinging his axe, his pickaxe.
Hold on.
Wait,
Hey,
I don't know
Greff?
if you can increase the volume.
All
Unless you
caps.
write
All
all
caps.
All caps.
Okay, all right.
You immediately get a message back saying, wait, no, that sounds like a plan.
We're not doing that.
He writes, we can come free you, hope to free the others there, get everyone to the forge.
You get a message back, like, please be loud in about 1.5 minutes. In my head, only my head. So what has happened since Greff asked him to be loud is Greff has started holding his breath.
Yes.
And the intention is that I know that, like, you can't be stirred awake So it's just like, can somebody aggressively whisper in my ear as I lose consciousness?
Ivoris he intends on it, but he's also messaging you harder right now because he's like, wait, no. This sounds like a plan.
Stop it, Greff, no.
You need to wait for us.
What is this plan?
You can't he's writing like, you can't kill them on your own and all of this.
Greff's like, spelling has gotten worse and it seems like it's slurring. I think the next message is, don't intend to fight alone. Intend to be useful when fighting starts.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I need to know if in that minute's time, whether you're going to start writing in all caps at Greff, or if you actually ever stop.
No, I don't think I've stopped. I think it's taken a minute and a half for me to figure out what Greff is trying to do.
Are you telling your two companions with you what is going on, or are you showing them what's
I'm just
being written
writing
in the
a little
book?
bit more frantically at the moment.
It would be very easy to notice that Ivoris has gone from like writing delicately, like what the fuck. It's very easy to notice that for you two.
He's rage writing.
Yes.
What is the loudest letter I can write in capital fast? It's so complicated.
It looks like Ivoris has discovered Reddit.
His letters look like the sound effects in mangas, when they're screaming.
Oh,
yep.
Ominous.
Yep. Okay, Greff.
Yes.
I'm going to say you can do this because you are holding your breath. Your constitution, I don't know if it's super high, but you are choosing to fail this.
Yeah.
You're also working physically very hard, so it wouldn't take much to do it. Like, if you just completely go into it and you're like with it heart and soul, which you don't necessarily have to be under suggestion, but under heart and soul, if you just go into it and you hold your breath, you will eventually start to feel your vision coming in and in and in until it's just that tiny pinprick and you just see the little lights dancing around the edge of your vision, and you can barely hear anything in your ears, let alone someone whispering into your mind, and you do pass out.
All right.
But you also hear Ivoris writing frantically in his book. The dial doesn't exactly turn up, but it does come on at like a good point.
He's using capitals.
All
capital
all
letters.
caps. Greff, what the fuck?
So I think
What the fuck?
Greff intends that like when he can feel his like vision blurring and like he can feel this body like kind of start giving out, he like goes down to one knee as if he's like picking or moving something. So like he's not just going to be standing and then just flump down, dragging everybody's attention to it. It's more like he like kneels down and then just collapses onto something, hopefully like a rock that can kind of support him.
Okay, Greff, I'm going to need you to make a deception check to see whether you can pull off looking like you've just stopped for a second to move something or lean against a wall. This is basically your ability to hide the fact you've just passed out. Bearing in mind, you can't control how you pass out. You just pass out.
Can I argue either an advantage or a different roll?
I think you can argue a different role. You are putting yourself physically at risk because you can't really control where you pass out. It's just... So you can argue a different role.
So I'm going to argue athletics. So what Greff is doing is he's wedging his fingers and his hands around a boulder. So when he loses consciousness, they don't actually let go. He's like just digging them into the boulder.
You're wedging your fingers in place.
Yeah. So,
you're shoving your fingers in a gap and hoping that you can get them out when you wake up.
So the intention is like, this is a big heavy rock. I'm going to lift it up just a little bit, put my hands underneath it, and then I'm just going to lose consciousness on top of the rock. My weight will cause my fingers to crush underneath the rock and I'm not going to fall off it. Like, I know that's going to hurt like shit, but the intention is that I will not
I will accept this. I will accept that. Go ahead. It's not going to be a difficult check because you will probably take damage from this. In fact, you will take damage from this. I'm sorry.
Just normal athletics or?
Straight athletics, please.
10d8 damage.
1d6 because I rolled a 19. I did not need to go this deep into it. Fuck myself. Crushed my poor...
Your hands got too much underneath.
I would have gotten away with a deception on a roll of 19. That's 21 for me. Like, that would have been fine. Fuck.
You take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. I'll take that.
Okay.
All right.
You have managed to come to. You've just like slumped over the rock for a second, and then as you take a deep breath back in from having, passed out and your body will naturally try and breathe again, you kind of lift the rock. You can hear Ivoris ending his manga scream in your head, and you are able to continue working again.
All right.
You have broken free of suggestion.
All right. Greff just sends back free of suggestions. Gonna pretend. You have until I fall unconscious. So about 20 hours because I'm Greff.
I'm so swole.
Ivoris draws a picture of someone rolling their eyes.
Are you sending this
because
to my brain?
Because you can't see it, you kind of feel him rolling your eyes at you.
Asterisk, I roll asterisk.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. Okay, in that case, Greff, you are free from suggestion. You may continue there until you decide you want to break the scene or whatever it is. All right. The three of you outside. What are you doing?
As soon as the book thing's done, I want to wait until most of these people are asleep. I want to give, I assume it's already happening, but I want to give everyone a little bit more time to get rest, the hour rest.
Uh-huh.
Did the big Yonti look damaged? Like, a significant? No. Okay, good.
Nah.
Good in a way
I mean,
that
there
I
are
know
like
that's
people
not
around here
influence our decision.
Yeah, there are people around who definitely look scorched.
Well, I'm certainly not trying to fight everyone around here right now.
No, no. The big one did not look at all worried.
I want to do 2 visions that I can think of right now. Over the course of the next 2 minutes.
So for. I think very especially for Kith, you can definitely do your short rest. You can gain back hit dice roll your hit dice and get some health back.
Okay, so
in a more natural manner.
I definitely do that then. Okay, all right, never mind. I have to spend another one apparently.
Hey, hit die, really? Come on.
All right, now I'm back at full health, and also to clarify, I am using my natural recovery ability, which does give me back my 2 first level spell slots.
Nice.
Okay, perfect. Tawree, if you took damage from the lightning strike, you can also roll hit dice, so you can regain back some health.
I imagine while all of this is happening, Tawree is just planting her ass down on the floor, like just watching everyone around in the camp, just keeping an eye out on if there's anything suspicious, anything of note, like this guy looks beaten up. If I see him, I can kick the shit out of him. I don't know, something like that.
You do notice there are a lot of people around. Say there's probably nearly like 24 people, probably like a dozen UNT, about a dozen halflings as well. And there's obviously like the big kind of like Yonti captain / they have a specific name, but I'm going to write it for you. Pretty big one. You notice that there are people being moved in and out of the mine. Some that look tired and covered in like minor scratches, and obviously covered in coal dust and such. Like you see them being brought out and put down to rest, and then like you would assume put back to rest later on. You notice that Jurid is. They're kind of going to rest now. Like you guys approach this area pretty late at night anyway, at least, after the sun had set. And it's kind of at that point where it's like 2-ish in the morning, I guess, if you're waiting for like the good opportunity. So that'll be where we pick up after we've done your vision checks. You said there are 2. Why am I nervous?
One of them might give me enough of an answer that I don't need the second one, but I want to see...
Okay.
If we if we go right now and attack the isolated Yonti in the mine and free the miners, are they in physical enough condition to fight and sneak out without alarming the camp and take to the forge with us?
Okay. You're not 100% sure where the forge is. So I think like you probably might
just get to that rock, I guess, past the thing into the rock as far as he's looking.
All right. Okay. So if you were getting Greff and the other miners.
Rock formation that I'm looking for.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. In that case, roll a futures check for me, please.
It's a 10. This works every time.
It's a no. Like, you can see Greff, and Greff looks like he's like having, I'm not saying fun, but he's doing this job with fair ease. I mean, he does reckon he'll be able to go for 20 hours without getting tired. So Greff, not exactly fun, but he's getting on with it. That's all that you really see, I'm afraid.
My second thing is I want to get a schedule on the thing that I'm trying to kill, their sleep schedule. I want to know where they sleep, if they sleep isolated. And if it's possible, I want to see a vision of
you killing them.
Yes. But I kind of want to weigh the thing is like whether or not the miners are going to be able to help us do that, or if we are going to need to actually make it to the forge to try to get help from there and recoup before we attack the Yonti.
Oh, okay. You kind of want like plan. A better lay on.
How quickly do I need to kill
which would be a better option to
Dendar's person?
You basically want to account on whether it would be a better option for you to use the miners to attack Druid if they sleep solo, or whether it'd be better to go to the forge and ask for help from the people who are there.
Are they in shape to form an attack tonight? Or can I get them to the forge, or should I get them to the forge, basically? But I'm looking for a scenario in which we are able to attack this person where they're sleeping.
Okay, all right. I will give you something. Okay, go ahead. Roll
okay, I know
check.
this is like...
Yeah,
kind
this
of one
is
of
a
those...
very, like, which of these better options? Like, I'll give you the better options. Like, I'll give you, like, the better setup for you.
Let's see. 22.
Fuck.
Thank fuck.
Don't be mad, V. This never works. All right? You know.
Now you know my pain, Neil.
The one thing I have that never works.
Mm-hmm.
I will, because it's a 22 and it kind of works and it makes sense. In your mind's eye, as you focus in on Druid and your potential options, you see a myriad of options. You see them going to the same place. You see them being attacked by you and the other miners. Some of them look very strong and some of them look exhausted and tired. And you see other people joining in on Druid's side. You also see that when you go to the forge, that the people there are tired and exhausted, and some of them will help and fight, but some of them not so great. You do, however, know that Druid sleeps not exactly alone, but there are people around them. They don't share the same sleeping quarters. They are isolated and they do sleep in a place on their own, and it's nearer to the forge. You kind of like, as you follow them, you just get that glimpse through just like one of these passageways. You see a huge forge, one like you have, no, you haven't seen it. You see a huge forge with a lot of fire. You see a lot of people being held near this. You see a lot of workers working on it. You just see that glimpse as you continue following Juro to their place of sleep. They sleep in a sleeping cell on their own, but not exactly attached to this, but in like bigger chambers nearby. There are more Yuan-Ti. There are some of the halflings that sleep nearby that if you make too much noise, they will hear you.
Right. So kind of like they sleep in an area, I imagine from the distance to that rock formation to the camp where a scuffle would probably be heard.
Having followed Druid, if you were to, for example, attack them in their chamber with like yourself and a bunch of buddies, if you did it quickly and quietly, the people sleeping adjacent to them, like in the room very, very close to them, probably wouldn't hear it. But even if you made a lot of noise killing them, nobody outside would hear it. You're far enough within the forge where they sleep for them not to be heard being attacked.
Right.
For example, from outside, you can't hear the forge being worked.
But we have more of a chance to get them one-on-one because out here, where we know they hang out,
you're fucked.
They're hanging out in the open. Down there, where we need to go anyways, coincidentally,
yes, down
they
there,
also hang out at night
near where they sleep.
Okay, so let's just get down there. That makes this easy. Thank you, V.
Well, Druid was always going to stay close to where the fuck the blissful eclipse is like centering their attention. Of course they fucking are. Like that's where they're going to be staying. So yeah. That would be the best opportunity to get them alone.
I have to help my friends, Nee. Help me help my friends, Nee.
Okay, not sure what else I can do in preparation. So...
Tell me what we're doing, Nee.
Well, you're all kind of just waiting for me to...
Tell me what to do, Nee.
Yeah.
Get up and drag you along, I guess.
Yes, please, Nee.
Because I'm looking, and I don't see anything else of use right now. So, yes. I'm going to get up and act like... I imagine this is about... He hasn't waited too long because he knows Greff's working and doesn't want to exhaust Greff too hard. But I wait until everyone's like off guard and calm down from the things that have just happened, have all their rest. It's what time is it?
I'm going to say like
night when we got here, right?
Like the perfect time to attack anyone is in like an hour before dawn.
Yeah.
Because most people are tired. Anybody on watch, unfortunately, the circadian ribbons are just completely fucking thrown out. They're waiting to go to sleep themselves. Like, that is like the perfect time where people are very tired. They're very sleepy. Most people already are asleep. And those people who are doing watches are less likely to be that.
Okay. So Ivoris doesn't have to wait. He's going to get up and not gather his bedroll. He's going to get up and go over to Kaz, Kith. All right.
Hi.
Let's go take a look at the facilities.
Okay. Are we doing this like super sneaky? Are we just walking through like we own the place?
We're going to look at the facilities.
Okay.
We are tasked with keeping up with this one. Ivoris is not really talking like quiet, and it's night, so he's assuming that everyone can hear. He's kind of normal voicing, doing the Yanti thing of, I don't give a fuck if I wake you up. I don't care. I don't care about you. We are in charge of keeping up with them, so bring them along so that we don't get in trouble for them causing mischief. But come on, I want to see what they have been up to.
Kith, for the sake of putting on a performance, is going to, like, roughly grab Tawree and then, like, shove Tawree in front of Kith and also, like, shoulder Ivoris, like, kind of out of the way as, like, a fuck you, I'm better than you, since that guy mentioned I'm the, like, further evolved one. So
oh no, he's gotten too into character.
Kith's gonna do one of those. Kith knows how to act like other people, just needs to know how the other people act first.
I imagine Tawree was kind of dozing off at this point.
Let's go, get up. On your feet.
Oh wait.
Light is cast on you somewhere.
gentle slap across
on the bindings on your wrist or something.
Yeah. No, on the beads.
Yeah. On the beads. Yeah, good point. You put them on the beads. Okay, the three of you make your way into the mine. Nobody seems to be stopping you. There aren't like guards per se on the mine. Yeah, they would assume that everybody in this camp is one of them, and to be fair, two of you are UNT anyway. You're not exactly stopped. People do look at you. They do like, and then they decide, nah, fuck you. Like, if you get too far, someone will kill you anyway. Like, they don't give a fuck.
If anybody looks less developed than I do, I give them that dirty look of like, I fucking dare you.
Intimidate the bitches. Yeah.
Back off. I'm
okay.
more evolved. I did more things.
Okay. So, where are you headed? Are you going to get Greff?
Yes, we're going to reconvene.
As you kind of like see that corner where the halfling turned, you just very momentarily hear a little buzz, and you see, and your eyes are drawn to your familiar, and they kind of like, they direct you to where Greff is. It's like, yeah, as Greff said, it's about a 10-minute walk along this, and you pass a lot more tired miners, some of them being forced out by the UNT like observers.
All right.
And yeah, you kind of get pushed to this area. There are 3 miners here, and there is one UNT who is kind of like leaning back. They're not exactly falling asleep, but they're bored. They're like, why should I need to be here? They've already got people under control. They're just like, what the fuck? But yeah, you can see that there are like two other people working here next to Greff, and they do look exhausted. They look very tired.
How tough does this Yanti look? How many people did they have controlled down here?
This thing isn't the biggest, toughest, or strongest UNT that you have ever faced. This has probably gone through like maybe 2 at the most. Like, and even then, they didn't pick the strongest ones to merge with. Yeah, they don't look awfully strong. They're just kind of leaning back. They're not really wearing much in the way of armor. But and they're not even carrying any weapons. You know that this person kind of like solely relies on teeth, claws, and their mind controlling abilities.
All right, so I think if Greff has been spending about, what is it, like hour plus down here?
Oh, way more than that, my friend. You've been like, if this is 3 or 4 in the morning, you've been digging for like 5 hours, man.
All right, then I think Greff definitely has a plan.
Uh-oh.
First question, What happens when somebody loses consciousness?
They fall to the floor.
And what do the UNT do?
You haven't fallen unconscious, you don't know.
There are other people in the room. Surely somebody has.
They kind of, okay, I'll give it to you. Like at least one person would have passed out. Not the 2 people next to you, but like let's say the other Goliath that I possibly mentioned. Like they passed out whilst like kind of digging away, and the UNT just kind of like walked over. You saw them cast a small amount of magic, and then the halfling, who was way stronger than they appeared, just came over, grabbed them by the feet, and just dragged them out.
All right, was the halfling... Okay, so he cast a spell, and then a little bit later, the halfling comes along.
Correct.
All right. So while Greff has been mining, he has mined a kind of a hole, like a I don't know how to phrase this basically, but like a little crevasse that is like a human lying down sideways.
Okay.
And the intention is very much to just, like, it's supposed to be precarious, it's supposed to fall soon, and the intention is just, like, as soon as I kill that UNT, it's going in that crevasse, I'm hitting one rock, and the entire thing is collapsing on top of him. Just hiding a body.
You've been digging a grave this whole time?
Hiding a body.
For the UNT?
I've been digging for 5 hours, I better have something to, like, motivate myself, and my motivation was, I'm gonna get somebody fucked, and I'm gonna bury them, and they're never gonna get found. And it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm going to go with yes, Greff. You can have definitely built a 2 hits, rocks fall, UNT dies moment. You can do that. If that's how you wish to hide the body of this mind control person, it's entirely up to you. Yeah. Yes, that is something you could have done over the last 5 hours. I will just give that to you freely. Okay. So what's happening here, folks? You see Greff tapping away. Greff, you look over and you see like your 3 buddies turning up.
I am going to, as soon as the Yanti, I'm going to like kind of tap on Greff's shoulder to get his attention as we pass, but we're going to have to kill this Yanti if they don't like, fuck off some other way. So I'm going to try to suggestion them.
Okay.
Is that not better saved for something bigger?
No, because it's probably a rarity that this succeeds anyway, and I don't have the old suggestion where they can really harm themselves anymore, unless V just wants to like allow that with something that we evolve into. But I think right now all of this is really stunted.
Yeah. Like you're kind of feeling out your magic again, and unfortunately, some of your ability to control and all that good jazz that's begun to melt away just a small amount. So.
I used to have 3 kinds of like suggestion. So this is just the normal suggestion that a Yanti gets once a day. And it's not like a huge big deal because he's probably going to make it.
All right. Hit me with it.
As soon as we see them, they have to make...
you can, like, if you're with Greff, if you can tap Greff on the shoulder, the UNT, you would see it. Like, just straight up.
They need to make a saving throw. wisdom saving throw against, I guess it's spell save DC? It doesn't say.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Then it is a 16 wisdom.
It rolls at advantage because, like UNT, it has mental resistance. Yep. Did you say it had to be a 16?
Yes, you have to beat a 16.
Yeah. That's a wisdom, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this thing ain't very wise.
Good.
What are you suggesting?
I suggest that
Get in the hole.
I tell it to get as far away from this camp into the desert as possible.
But my hole.
And that's
All
going
right,
to
how
take...
long does this last?
it's-
Up to 8 hours?
You just did this to me. Why are you shocked?
Now I'm just annoyed.
No.
Okay, with barely a hint of changing what it was doing, it just turns around and walks out of the mine.
Surely you tell him to drop his concentration too, right?
It's a very simple command.
It can be
I
one
don't
to
think
two
you can make it
sentences.
like a twofold command. Oh, 1 or 2 sentences. Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
Stop
he'll
thinking about what you're thinking
tack on-
and walk into the desert.
release anyone under your control is what he also tacks onto there then.
Okay. Yeah, you see him just turn and walk out of this kind of little area that has been dug. The drow and the tabaxi who have been like working very hard next to you, Greff, you just see them just like drop to the floor. You hear the pickaxes just like clatter a little bit. They both look exhausted. They have been here for about the same amount of time as you, give or take.
Greff goes straight into his pockets and gets out rations and water for those two. 3?
Oh, it's 2 of them. It was 3 of you in total.
Yeah.
The others that were here have just been taken away because you wanted someone to pass out. I'm like, fine.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to know how the thing operates. There was a part of me
that's
that
fine.
really wanted Greff to have already killed the UNT by the time they come, but I know if I fuck it up, it's just chaos, and I cannot afford that.
I can't see Greff doing that because Ivoris has told you many times that you have to have more than the number of Yanti you're going to fight.
I know, but you're forgetting the
Yeah.
fact
You're
that
just gonna
Greff
get
has
mind
really
controlled
big
again.
balls.
Yeah, you're really dumb. And that's why I thought that it was appropriate to yell at you over the book, because Ivoris would be very scared that you were going to do the dumb thing that you were thinking about doing.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
to be fair, you were doing it, Greff.
Yeah, you were trying very hard to do something that would have gotten you in trouble.
The drow looks up at you and she says, "Thank you. Thank you for saving us, but you," and they look at at Kith and at Ivoris, are you taking us somewhere else? And they kind of look at Tawree and they look back at the pair of you again.
Greff is chugging a healing potion.
Okay.
If you would like to stop what they are doing, we would love for you to join us.
Join you? You're one of them?
Well, not join us.
No.
No. Okay. Iris is going to let someone else take over this conversation.
Okay. So
And
listen.
I'm going to turn
not
and
you.
No, what do you mean not me? Why not? Why me?
Just as a note, Tawree is still tied up and gagged. Just saying.
I was literally turning around to release you.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we're done with all that now.
Okay. You're releasing her.
Actually, yeah, Tara, you explain.
I was never really, I was never a prisoner. I just acted a part. We are here to get into the forge.
Oh.
And I could
Why?
use help killing something. The big Yonti out there. But again, forge first. I think that we might find help.
If you can get me a great sword, I'd happily cut off the head of anything here.
Great sword.
I've got an extra long sword, and that's as good as I can do for now.
Close enough.
I have heard that we're going to a forge.
I mean, if we
I mean, I think they're building weapons and armor there. I can I'll happily help you out. Why are you... I'm sorry. Why are you two doing this? How can you trust them? And they look at Greff and at Tawree.
Oh, right. So he's not an actual Yuan-Ti, and he points at Cass, and then he like quickly goes, "Don't do anything creepy. Just
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, no, I expected you to do creepy shit.
Why do you assume I'm going to do the creepy? What do you mean creepy thing?
Last time I told somebody you weren't an actual Yuan-Ti, you did creepy shit.
You changed into a thing.
Yeah,
different
so don't do
thing.
that.
Okay, listen, I would really appreciate it if you guys would not
change. Look,
No. Calm down. Listen to me. He can change on command. It's a magical ability.
All right.
And this one over there has worked with me now for about a year plus, and he saved my life more than once. He is a Yuan-Ti with a soul, and he does not believe in their mission or their statement. He is here against his will, on my request, on my behalf, because we believe we have a mission greater than our lives.
I didn't trust either of these before either. I still don't entirely trust this one, and she points to Ivoris. But the other one seems okay.
Thanks.
You've been digging at our side for hours. Why would you... Why are you here?
How long have you been here? How long have you been under their spell?
I don't know.
It's a mess out there.
I don't know. I think... How long's it been since the second blood rain?
About
30
40
years?
days-ish.
No.
40?
No, wait.
Yeah, the
That was
second
the
god...
It was
Yes, second god passes at like day 20.
24 days.
Correctly.
No, 22 days.
I thought it was in about 2 weeks' times in between them.
Because we've been 8 days in the desert, and you said it was 16 days before that when my
He's asking
children were
about
taken.
The second god died on day... The second god died on day 36.
All right, so it's been 20...
It is now day 61.
So
Okay,
it's
wow.
26 days?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
I was
Stay
roughly
52
right.
now, I guess. Yeah, you're pretty close.
You were closer than me.
You're like fucking, yeah. The price is right with how long it was that God died.
It's been about 26 days, and a god died today. The fourth one.
Fourth? What do you mean the gods died? How can you kill a god?
It's a whole thing. We're trying to stop that from happening. Okay.
We have already limited their resources.
I don't mean to rush things, but we're kind of in the belly of the beast right now, and this is really not the time for us to be explaining everything. Genuinely,
I get it. All
we
right.
would appreciate your help trying to stop the bad stuff that's happening here. Please.
Okay. I mean, the worst you're going to do is mind control me again and...
Nobody's going to do
Or
that.
kill me, and I'll take that.
Best case scenario, after this, we're free. And we've done some good deeds along the way, so double great.
I'm in. And you see them like very shakily get up. You see them like stumble just a little bit, but they kind of like straighten themselves up and roll back their shoulders. And you see them like reach for the water skin that was offered to them earlier. The Tabaxi, who was also here, they just lift up their head, lift up their arm and just like shake their head a little bit and says, this one isn't strong enough now. This one didn't see the first rain. This one is done. This one wish one could help, but one can't.
Tawree offers him something to eat.
They like he very happily takes the food from you and just nods and like,
You are welcome to move with us and don't have to fight.
they again just like shake their head as they're eating, and they say, "This one will perhaps make a distraction. This one will do what one can, but this one cannot fight. This one cannot go too far."
We would appreciate a distraction, but you should gather your strength first.
This one asks how you got these 3 free. Perhaps this one can free others. Or is this only something UNT can do to other UNT?
No, and to be fair, that Yuan-Ti was not an easy target for me to get out of here. It kind of gives an awkward look at Greff, like, I have not mentioned before, because I don't often like to be the target of the exploding magic things, but I am resistant to the magic things, which is kind of why I ran through that door. You know the one.
You would know that if someone under suggestion were to take any sort of damage, they would come out of it. I think it's like either in the middle of that big block of text, or it's just like at the very top. I don't remember. But
in that case, Ivoris is like already on it. And his terrible wasp is just going to go sting everyone.
So you're going to assign a wasp to the tabaxi so that they can just like, get him.
Yeah, I'll help out.
Okay. Yeah. You can command the wasp to do that, but they will not be available when you do stuff at the forge. I'm just going to let you know.
That's fine.
Okay.
He'll might be useful out here too, when we have to deal with that. And I think I can dismiss and then recast for a 15-minute time or whatever. So
yeah, that's totally fine. The wasp can hang around and do its shit and help out the tabaxi. Okay, that's fine.
Greff is gonna like kind of cut in as when time allows itself, and it's like, the halfling that you left me with, he is dangerous.
Yes, Dendar actually warned me about the halfling that hangs around with the one I'm supposed to kill.
I've seen them take lightning to the face and they just laughed it off.
That's terrifying.
They can slam people into the ground and they can't get back up. That, did you say halfling?
Oh, yeah. That's what that race is called. Oh, Greff has a dumb fucking look at his face. He's like,
Oh, so that was a halfling. Okay, I got them confused with gnomes, but okay, all right.
No, they're the other short race.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? Do you know what?
There's two
How
small
about you
ones.
just stick a long sword in my hand and we'll go from there.
Okay, that sounds good.
You can explain all this changing UNT with feelings and knowing what the fuck a halfling and a gnome is. How about we do that afterwards?
Okay. Sounds good.
How good are you with swords? Better than me,
Do you
think?
have a spare one?
Well, no, but I have...
You can see them like look you up and down. Like this, the drow, like she has no armor on her, and it's very easy to see like why she was set to the task of mining. Like she has like very strong, very big muscles on her arms. Her legs are also equally well, like she could... It's not like she could take Greff, but she is on that kind of similar level. Like, from her physique, yes, she is tired and exhausted, but the mining might have done her a bit more good. Like, she looks like she physically knows what she's doing. You just haven't seen her with a sword in her hand.
Greff has an extra longsword that he has already offered this person.
Don't all these people have axes?
Yeah,
Big axes, yeah. I looked it up. Most people agree that a pickaxe would be a 1d6 piercing weapon.
Yeah.
They have the war pick as a weapon option.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a
I think that's like
version of it, and it's 1d8 piercing.
Yeah.
Just saying, if we find nothing
Yeah,
else...
she'll take the spare longsword. Yeah, she'll take the spare longsword. I think Greff has like a bunch of extra fucking weapons. Walking around like goddamn Rambo.
just that one extra longsword and a gun, but Greff does not know how to use the gun, and he's already hurt his fingers 3 times trying to shoot it, so he's done.
I know how to use guns. No, she doesn't.
I do think you do. I think you're...
she'll take the longsword.
Yeah.
And like as you pass it over it, it's obvious that she knows what she's doing with it. Like you see her like spin it and move it and try the balance. Like she actually has a very technical knowledge of like how the sword is forged and made. Like you can just see it in the way that she uses it. All right then.
So I feel like we need to ambush that goddamn halfling before it becomes a problem.
That halfling, the armored one, they tend to sleep outside under the stars and whatnot.
I think that's to our benefit, though.
They nod.
If we take over the forts first, then we have access to weapons and armor. We have access to the people there. We can get help.
But of course, you can always shove them into the forge. I wouldn't want to fight either of them, but whether you could actually get them in there, though, I don't know.
Let's go to the forge first.
We won't be able to pull off any of the sneaking around that we've been doing after this, especially with you two here. Nods to the prisoners. So...
You mean the 3 of us?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, unless they are sleeping side by side, and you said that this one sleeps in the stars. The one I need to kill sleeps near the forge. And I don't require the halfling to die. It's probably just beneficial. In any sense, I am far more concerned about getting everyone even to the forge. So let's focus on that. For now, we need to get everyone past this first camp where you could be recognized, or where we will be recognized. Everyone saw us walk in today. They will know that we have not been given permission to run around with handfuls of prisoners. We'll just need to sneak and distract if we can. We'll run.
I can help a lot with the sneaking part. I have that one spell that should get through the job pretty well.
I can distract, I think.
I'm not wearing armor, so...
Idea. Remember how we thought we had to break into a vault when we were going to get the alchemist stone?
Yes.
We never used the bomb Stalka made for us. This is a cave, and there is a fuck-off gnome that we'd love to just not be able to fuck with us.
Halfling.
Fuck-off halfling. I mean, what is a halfling? What? Person totally not from the secure says what?
What?
If we could lure a lot of them into the cave all at once and kill them that way, that would be great. However, I do worry that if we just trap the gnome for a while, that the Yonti that works with him will no longer sleep so close to the forge and will be a bit busier up here. That might have the unintended outcome of them organizing a little better.
I'm going to take out the Dalka explosive. How is it armed and how does it work?
Well, it's kind of this... I'm gonna say like slightly roundish shaped thing, except the outside has got like a lot of like bits and pieces on it, like some made of metal, some made of bone, some made of wood, and it just looks like it's on like a very thin, film or something that contains a lot of black powder and contains a lot of like sharp looking odds and ends inside it. It is a case of just lighting the very thin cord, and you would expect rolling or throwing it.
Okay. Now, I've been hitting my dexterity.
It's basically a frag grenade that you have to light.
Yeah, I've been hitting my dexterity, which is the throwing stat, of course. So, Greff is not the greatest for this. Have I seen the gnome anytime recently, or has he been away for a while?
Halfling, for fuck's sake.
So, you haven't seen the halfling since you've been put down here.
Okay.
Like, other than, like, the one occasion they turned up and pulled away the unconscious Goliath, you haven't seen the halfling since. For Tawree, who has been trying to pay attention to the odd comings and goings of people on the outside of the camp, you have seen them basically walk in and out of the mine a few times, either dragging people or pushing new people in. And you kind of saw them just go off in the distance in which you first met them. That was the last time that you saw them. That was maybe an hour before you started this.
So to the outside? Like, out of the camp?
Yeah,
again?
they're outside. They're basically... Yeah, you saw them, like, heading in the direction where you first met them, which is, like, in the entry to the camp. Like, you saw them heading in that direction. You don't know if they were going to sleep. You don't know what the fuck they were doing. But you know they were headed in that direction about an hour ago.
Okay. I've seen them head out of the camp just an hour before we went into this cave.
I've seen them summon him with a spell when a worker goes unconscious.
You see your drow companion nod.
Ivoris, do you think you can do another suggestion on somebody down here?
Ivoris shakes his head. I just have the one now, I think.
No way to get him back here, is there?
The Yonti I just had run away.
Yeah.
I could end the spell and then they would immediately let everyone know what had happened, or we could have the 8 hours of silence.
No.
Why do we need him back here?
We could have him summon the halfling, tell him there's something he needs to check out, and that something would be a bomb on the ground. And then when he's like, oh, what's this? I'll light another bomb and chuck it at him.
Kith rolls his eyes so fucking hard, and then there's just ripping and cracking and tearing, and the Yonti that just fucked off is standing in front of you. I don't understand what's so hard about this. I literally explained part. I don't.
Okay, so you've got part 1. Part 2 is he did some kind of magic that summoned him, I think.
It was probably just sending like I've done with you, Greff.
Or, I could just go get him.
You don't think he's going to find that odd?
I could say that I didn't know where he was. The magic didn't work.
You could say that you found someone that you'd run out of magic.
Yeah.
That could work.
So you use magic a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's not quite so strong inside. Like deeper inside the mine.
There must have been some lead in the way.
Closer to the forge. I don't really know how magic works. I just know that I've heard a lot of people bitching about it.
See, I appreciate that this person wasn't questioning the snapping and cracking, but you were. See, this is how you'd work together.
I've been controlled for how long?
A long while.
26 days.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of weird shit, and I've been suddenly freed by a Yuan-Ti and a Tabaxi who wasn't really a prisoner, and someone who clearly knows about halflings and doesn't speak with a normal Kino accent. I've given up.
That's fair. No, that's very fair. That's very, you know what? I like this person.
Yeah.
I like, what's your name? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Patron. Hang on.
like the tequila Patron?
Patreon exclusive.
My name is Patreon exclusive.
Okay, I can't speak with
pay
your
a
voice.
membership fee to figure out their name.
I haven't subscribed.
Everything's behind a paywall.
Tawree chucks them a piece of the diamonds that fell out earlier.
To know the Tabaxi's name, give us $1.
No, stop it.
To name the Tabaxi yourself. No, this is the Drow.
Unlock the names of all Tabaxi characters.
This is the Drow.
Oh,
if it's a Drow, it means it probably should have an apostrophe in its name. Hang on.
When are we going to release DLC V?
Remind me, why are we trying to get the gnome?
Well, we actually have Elsie, my friend.
The TLDLC.
To answer that, Kessi, I think as soon as we fight the big bad UNT guy, the gnome is somehow gonna come and fuck us up.
So we're trying to separate them.
So my intention is to have the halfling. So what I want to do is I want to put the bomb underneath the little shelf that Greff made, and I want to have the halfling go in there and go like, "The fuck is this thing?" Lean over and then just hear from behind him like, "Chuck," and then he eats 2 explosions and the cliffside. And that should properly put him out of commission while we kill the UNT guy.
If we explode the cave, everybody's going to know that shit's going on.
They don't need to hear it. If this is going to be loud, I can make it so the people outside cannot hear it.
What?
What?
I love this. I was just going to say cave in, but I love this.
We could try to sneak still.
All right. Ivoris, I trust your gut. And I trust your instinct. Do you think trying to take out the halfling now is a bad idea?
Ivoris does a future vision.
Hang on.
Oh shit! Let me just.
All right.
Ivoris pulls out a magic 8-ball.
Motherfucker.
Let me check my
All
gut.
right, motherfucker.
Also, what's the name?
All right, motherfucker.
V, what's the name?
Hit the future check.
21.
Yes.
Tell me what you're trying to see. Because I am hearing a lot of what people are trying to figure out. So tell me what you are trying to see specifically.
I'm trying to see specifically if this is going to... There's so many things. I'm trying to find a particular point in time to set us down at, because there's so many different points in time that this could fuck up too.
Yep.
First, I just want to know if this will kill him. If this idea would be successful in getting rid of the halfling. If that future is in the thing.
I'm just going to give you the basic yes or no answer to that. But I do need to calculate how much damage this could do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have the damage of the bomb written down anywhere?
You never gave us a damage.
Or do I need to dig through my notes?
Sorry, you never gave
us.
It was just said that it was going to open the vault. It was given a singular purpose.
By the way, I've had these bombs in our inventory since like that plan went awry, and I've been looking at them like, how can I use you? I cannot wait to chuck this back in your face.
You at night just doing this thing like with Hamlet with the skull.
Falling damage is 1d6 or is it 1d10?
1d6.
All right. Max, you can get us 12d6. I think. No, 20d6, right?
I think. Yep, you're right.
And if I rolled good enough to see the results of whether we could hide this in such a way that doesn't inconvenience us when taking out the other Yanti, he would be trying to figure that out as well.
Well, Kessi, what's your character's name again? Sorry. Tawree seems to be able to like silence it somehow. So
the explosion, yeah. But I mean, they're still going to have to like that. Yanti is going to wake up tomorrow and then come and like try to clean up this mess, and then we might spend 3 days in the forge where they have like an army waiting outside for us by the time we're done because of this thing we did right now. You know.
Well, we have the UNT you sent on a wild goose chase, so our time limit is 8 hours anyway.
Yeah, before we're Yeah.
Sorry, it's not 8 hours because the guy also has to walk back, so that's...
16 hours! Okay,
so we have till tomorrow.
Should I link the spell that I had in mind?
I think I know what you're talking about, and yeah, that would work to silence the spell.
I'm just going to link it so basically can know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm doing the maths on how much damage is the average of what you should roll, how much health this person actually has, and the success chances of you actually being able to pass this off as something else. Okay. What you see is you see the halfling walk into this area. The area that has been partially dug out already, the room that you're standing in. It's almost a very surreal feeling as you look and see the things moving around you, but your companions are still right next to you. You see the halfling walk into the room. You see the bombs being rolled in just behind them, and you see them explode. You see nothing but dust and dirt and flying debris. You see the roof of this small area fall and cave in. You see very quickly Tawree's hand shoot out, whisper a few secret words, and you see the glowing eyes of the bunny just behind her leg as you hear absolutely no sound whatsoever. You see yourselves, the five of you running away as you see the Tabaxi who has just helped you yell and run out of the room screaming, cave in, help. You also see, in like that flickery, is it or isn't it happening, you see a halfling arm covered in armor reach out and push itself up, and you see the rocks move. But in a blink, as it flickers, the other image that flickers here is the rocks not moving. But you can see that the image of the arm moving is much stronger than that of the one where it is not. So on a scale of 1 to 10, the chances of you killing this, they're, you have like a 4 in 10 chance of killing it. If you roll really good for damage and cave-in damage.
Yeah.
However, if things go according to plan and you do manage to kill it, the mixture of the silence and the cave-in shout would probably hide that this was nefarious. But it does hinge on that halfling being killed.
And also, they're probably going to investigate immediately and be suspicious of the fact that we're missing.
Well, cave in.
Well, yeah.
It is a lot of rock that would fall. There was also a lot of debris.
Okay.
Greff is supposed to be there, so...
Yeah.
The explosion itself may not kill him.
Okay.
We would have to be here to perhaps finish that if we needed to.
Acceptable. I mean, if we've blown him up and dropped rocks on him, I feel like we can take him. And if not, then we never stood a chance to begin with. Like, let's just put it like that. But that's, of course, yeah.
Can we... no. All right, Greff. I mean... blowing things up worked once before, but I don't know. I think that... I don't know. It could work. It could kill the gnome. But then how hard would it be for us to actually get there? We need to be on the other side of the cave-in when it happens. We need to be out on the other side of the camp near a rock formation.
This one could do it. If you tell this one when to do it, this one will do it. This one is not strong enough to fight. But this one is strong enough to lure and throw and shout.
And then the issue remains that it might not kill him. And that we would need to be here anyway for this plan to work, for sure.
But Then it is only this one.
Are you willing to do this?
They nod. This one never saw blood rain. This one has no family. But this one can run. This one wants revenge. If this one helps you, if this helps, then the halfling. The halfling will be severely damaged, which will help you all anyway.
What's your name? Sorry.
I still didn't get the name of the drow.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I need names.
This one is Tyrannus. What are these ones? And they point at the four of you.
Greff.
My name is Tawree Limaruk.
You see them do that kind of really deep nod. They understand the references of your name.
My name is Keth.
I am Ivoris.
What did you say their name was again?
Tyrannus. Tiranus. I'm Lathera. LA''Thei.
All right, got the two of them down.
You see the tabaxi just they're still not really able to stand up very well. They reach out with both their hands towards the devices that you have. This one can do this. This one can help.
All right.
Please.
Tyrannus. This is insanely brave, but insanely dumb. Are you sure?
They take a moment and they nod and they say, this one has lost many children. And you see them look up and they look straight at Tawree. If this one understands you.
I understand. She puts a hand on her shoulder.
You see them smile. Yeah, you see them smile and they put a hand also on your shoulder. And in Tabaxi they say, if you are here for them, you save your children where I could not save mine.
I will try my best. I will definitely get them.
And you see them you see them half smile. And then they change back to Kino Common and they say, this one can do this. If this one can run, if this one makes it out, where could one find you?
Is there a marker or something that we could direct them to where we could meet them and give them food and water for the trip? Let's say there's a... no, that's too far. That's 8 days. They'll start by the time they get there.
That's true. 8 days in the desert, yo.
Yeah. No, I'm going to say...
you could describe the area that all of you, came down to get into the crevasse.
Yeah.
It would be very easy to describe on where that is, so...
Yeah, Greff describes a very strange rock formation that is on the, kind of southern edge of the cliffs, or the crevasse.
Mm-hmm.
And if we make it out, we'll be there. We'll guide you back to civilization, and...
Tyrannus appreciates this. Go.
Ivoris is going to give Greff his swords back if he hasn't already gotten them. And Ivoris is going to offer his, rapier, to the one who's staying behind. Because I assume we can find something for the ones that are with us on the way.
Yeah, well, the drow that is with you is taking Greff's spare longswords. Mm-hmm. The tabaxi that is offering to blow this thing up solo, they have to hide the bombs anyway, so they'll find a way to hide this rapier. Not a problem.
Okay. He gives it to him then and says,
yeah,
if they survive the explosion and you have the chance to get your revenge.
This one will take it.
It might only take
one...
a stab into the dirt to finish this, I don't know. But do run. And we'll figure it out.
This one doesn't know where you are different. But this one is glad.
Me too, sometimes.
Go. Before someone comes.
Greff explains the bomb and fucks off.
All right. Upon leaving, upon getting back to the intersection where you turned in, I'm going to say that there is a voice in the back of your head, Ivoris. And he says, I know of a place, if you wish to hide, that could get you to the forge. Or it could get you closer to this person, if this place is the same. Where do you want to go?
Hello, everybody. Oh, boy, why do they let Greff keep making plans? Why do they keep letting Greff make plans? Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of The Lucky Die Kino Edition. This was episode 22, and I want to start by thanking Kelly Lionheart for the name Tyrannus, and to thank Reaper for the name Lathera. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to catch up with us or follow some of our antics, we are on Twitter at TLDpod, and we're also on Instagram at TLDpod, and we're also on Facebook at The Lucky Die. Come check us out. We have lots of stupid stuff that we're sharing all the time. We recently had an announcement that we just got new merch in the store, so go check that stuff out if you're interested at all. Otherwise, just have a great day, and thank you so much. Bye!